were taken to Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn. The other 2 were transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center. Aborted babies found at an Illinois abortion doctor's home have been laid to rest in Indiana. Attorney General Curtis Hill spoke at the funeral service yesterday in South Bend.
The shocking discovery was horrifying to anyone with normal sensibilities.
Over 2,400 remains were buried in the South Lawn Cemetery. Dozens of strangers attended the emotional ceremony. The remains were discovered in the garage and vehicle of Dr. Ulrich Klopfer after his death in September of 2019. He operated abortion clinics in South Bend, Gary, and Fort Wayne. Chicago Police Board is whittling down its list of candidates vying to become the city's next top police official. Chicago Tribune says the board's current roster of candidates includes former L.A. police official Sean Malinowski, suburban Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zeman, Chicago Deputy Chief Ernest Cato, and former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. Suburban high school student could be released today after being held in federal immigration custody since last fall. Mighty Guzman Rivas' lawyer spoke after a judge granted her bond yesterday so she could be released to live with her school counselor while her case is pending.
When she found out that her case had been reopened and that she was going to get a bond hearing, she was the happiest I've seen her in literally since the moment I saw her in October.
Guzman Rivas fled to the U.S. in 2018 with her father from Honduras after gang members allegedly made death threats against their family. 3 Chicago high school students are recovering after eating marijuana-laced granola bars. Police say paramedics responded yesterday to a call of students overdosing at Curie High School. The freshmen, 2 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old, were taken to the hospital in good condition. United Airlines is putting flights to mainland China and Hong Kong on hold for a little longer. Our reporter Dean Muscio has the latest details.
The Chicago-based company announced it was extending its suspension until April 24th because of the coronavirus. The original suspension was only supposed to last until February 20th. The announcement comes as confirmed cases of the illness continue to skyrocket. More than 1,300 people have died from coronavirus, while more than 60,000 are infected around the world.
More reaction to former Empire actor Jesse Smollett after being indicted by a special prosecutor in Chicago over false claims that he was the victim of a hate crime attack last year. Illinois Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx saying yesterday that her office continues to avail itself to a review on how the case was handled after the new indictments were handed up by a special prosecutor.
And we welcome the non-political review, and that's ongoing.
Smollett claimed he was attacked by 2 men who yelled racist and homophobic slurs at him, though prosecutors eventually said he faked the whole thing, and the case was bungled by Kim Foxx's department. The widow of a slain Chicago Police Department commander has filed suit against the website used to sell the gun tied to her husband's death. Erin Bauer, wife of Commander Paul Bauer, filed suit against ArmsList.com in U.S. District Court in Milwaukee. There's another push at the Illinois Capitol to get a vaccine added to the list of shots that kids need to start junior high. Democrat Representative Robin Gable wants to require HPV vaccine for kids beginning the 6th grade. Currently, Illinois requires that schools give children and parents in the 6th grade information about that vaccine. A similar requirement failed to pass muster last year. Canucks blanked the Blackhawks 3-0 in Vancouver. College basketball, Northwestern fell to Michigan. In the Valley, Loyola topped Evansville. Valpo over at SIU. Illinois State lost to Northern Iowa, and Bradley knocked off Indiana State. Qualifying continues today for the Daytona 500, and they'll tee it up at Riviera for the Genesis LA Open. The news service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Home is more than a house. It's the feeling of open roads and blue skies. Rocket Mortgage has helped millions of Americans finance the home of their dreams, and they can help you too. Rocket Mortgage, push button, get mortgage. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't see fair elections from the DNC.
My only agenda on this issue is to figure out how do we have honest elections. The Democrats do not want honest elections, in my opinion. They are opposed to the idea that you must identify yourself when you vote. The most solemn thing that is done in a free country you can do without an ID.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world, one life at a time.
My husband's getting great results with his blood work, and he just feels great. Also, his hair is growing in. It's really interesting. He's getting lots of new hair, which I thought was pretty amazing. And as for me, I don't seem to have as many flare-ups. And if I do get one, it doesn't seem to be as bad or last as long. I'm assuming that it's because of the Balance of Nature, because I haven't changed anything and I'm not doing anything differently. We're very happy with the product and looking forward to staying on it and seeing where it takes us.
Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
A.M. Woodland Outdoor Design is the outdoor luxury living contractor you know and love. And now they're excited to announce a new member of the family, Lots Custom Carpentry. From kitchens to bathrooms to basements and everything in between, Lots Custom Carpentry can help you with unique designs, exquisite finishes, and the finest craftsmanship. From the first design consultation to the big reveal, you'll experience a true partnership with the Lots Custom Carpentry team and deal directly with the owner. Make it happen. Live in luxury both inside and outside your home. With so many landscape and carpentry contractors to choose from, use a team that shares your values of hard work, honesty, integrity, and patriotism. A.M. Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry. They'd be honored to work with you.
A.M. Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry. Proudly serving Lake, McHenry, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
As a hiring manager, you need to quickly find the best candidates for your open positions. Tools from Indeed like skills tests will help candidates really show you what they can do. You'll save so much time you can take the scenic route home. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire today.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
511 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonti.
Many roads have not been treated at this time, and snow continues to fall, so it is a challenging commute. West Chicago, there's a crash on 59 at North Avenue. Elgin, there's a collision reported. Randall Road at Point Boulevard. Get the Adams Tollway, I-90 eastbound near 59. There's a collision there blocking the right lane. Speeds are reduced across the board on the expressways and tollways. 8094 westbound near Calumet Avenue and Munster. Crash there, the right lane is blocked. And on the expressways and tollways, we're not seeing congestion. Speeds are reduced. Inbound Eisenhower, the exit to the outbound Kennedy is about to reopen after an overnight closure. I'm Jim Telemonti on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. Windy, frigid, blowing and drifting snow. Some snow and flurries, 1 to 2 inches today, high 19. It'll be clear, very cold tonight, low 0. And then sunshine, a frigid day tomorrow, the high at 17. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
32 at O'Hare, 32 Lakefront. It is 30 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
The land of chocolate.
Oh, for Valentine's Day, get your significant other tickets for the Chocolate Wine and Spirits Expo. Sample artisan chocolates, wines, liqueurs, spirits, while experiencing pairings from chefs and chocolatiers across Chicago. The expo includes free parking, and proceeds go to the Chicago Canine Rescue. And right now, AM 560 is giving away 5 pairs of tickets to the Chocolate Wine and Spirits Expo. Register to win at 560theanswer.com/giveaway. That's 560theanswer.com/giveaway.
I know we have a lot of shooting enthusiasts listening right now. This is Dan Proft, and I want to tell you about a truly special, family-friendly, private shooting facility. And I should know, I'm a member of Aurora Sportsman's Club. Here's David Lombardo, the club's past president and On Target Radio co-host.
Thanks, Dan. ASC has 285 acres composed of 4 shooting complexes for a total of 22 ranges from 50 feet to 600 yards, with more in development. Our family memberships allow drawing from the holster, moving and shooting steel. Our 2 shotgun complexes offer wobble trap, double trap, 2 standard trap fields, 2 skeet fields, 5 stand, and one of the most challenging sporting clays courses in the Midwest. Additionally, we offer fishing and hunting. In March and April, we're holding our annual family membership drive.
It sure sounds good to me, David. How do they get more information?
Visit aurorasc.org or call 815-264-9000. That's aurorasc.org for a better shooting experience. aurorasc.org.
This hourly segment is brought to you by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping you powered up no matter what the conditions.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we're coming to you live from Stevensville, a.k.a. Rosemont, from Signature Bank World Headquarters. We're launching today our Signature Bank Business Tour. This is six years running? 6 years running, yeah. I believe. I think it's our 6th year. It's always fun. So starting at base camp here, and then we'll be broadcasting from businesses throughout the Chicagoland area in the coming weeks, getting out of our ivory tower and out with the people. So
this place is gorgeous. Last year we were in their Edison Park, I believe, their bank branch, but this is their world headquarters, and it smells new, doesn't it? I mean, it is brand spanking news. Eric Thomas is over there. We're so far away. We're in a huge conference room, and this place is beautiful.
It smells like they've been making a lot of commercial loans, which is good. So we'll talk to a representative from Signature Bank a little bit later on the show. But today we start with Roger Stone because the president inveighed on the topic at the behest of the press corps, of course, looking for the next basis to file an article of impeachment. So let's get this thing started, too. I mean, we've got to have the whole gang pulled back together by early spring. After the kids get back from spring break, you want to have an impeachment to spend your summer watching.
It's so bad that CNN literally is like 8 days after his impeachment trial acquittal, this is what he's done. And they list the wrongs. They list what this possible impeachable offenses might be.
Right. So 8 days after he agreed with CNN legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin that the sentencing recommendation for Roger Stone was excessive. That's what he did.
I know.
Trump responding to the press corps suggesting there was some interference by the president on the matter.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
On Roger Stone, sir? On Roger Stone?
Yeah.
Isn't your tweet political interference?
No, not at all. He was treated very badly. 9 years recommended by 4 people that perhaps they were Mueller people. I don't know who they were, prosecutors. And they, I don't know what happened. They all hit the road pretty quickly. Look, you had somebody just recently, you saw what happened. He got 2 months. He got sentenced to 2 months for leaking classified information at the highest level.
Who's that?
They treated Roger Stone very badly. They treated everybody very badly. And if you look at the Mueller investigation, it was a scam because it was illegally set up. It was set up based on false documentation and false documents. You look at what happened, how many people were hurt, their lives were destroyed, and nothing happened with all the people that did it and launched a scam. Where's Comey? Where is Comey? What's happening to McCabe? What's happening to Lisa and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page? What's happening with them? It was a whole setup. It was a disgrace for our country, and everyone knows it, too. Everyone. It's a disgrace, and frankly, they ought to apologize to a lot of the people whose lives they've ruined.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. The president right about Roger Stone and DOJ, or those prosecutors in that case, owing Roger Stone an apology, and basically just the entire Mueller team and anybody connected to him owing the entire country an apology. That's sort of what he was getting to as he went from Roger Stone to the larger Mueller investigation.
Yeah, and these are the things that Trump's has done since the impeachment acquittal. Attacked senators who voted against him, Fires impeachment witnesses. GOP allies open probe into Trump's political rivals, criticizes potential sentencing of Roger Stone, praises AG for intervening in Stone case. And help me out with this one. Withdraws nomination of Jesse Liu to Treasury Department. I mean, they're really digging deep. And they call this like Trump being unleashed, and he's defending his actions because he's the king and nobody could stop him. Sherrod Brown and other Democrats lined up to criticize Trump on his actions.
What specifically are you going to? It's pretty clear the President of the United States did learn a lesson. The lesson: he can do whatever he wants. He can abuse his office. He'll never, ever be held accountable by this Senate.
And so on Roger Stone, is there a prospect that if he doesn't like the sentence, he may, or any sentence, he may pardon Roger Stone? The president responded.
Considering a pardon I don't want to say that yet, but I tell you what, people were hurt viciously and badly by these corrupt people. And I want to thank, if you look at what happened, I want to thank the Justice Department for seeing this horrible thing. And I didn't speak to him, by the way, just so you understand. They saw the horribleness of a 9-year sentence for doing nothing. You have murderers and drug addicts. They don't get 9 years. 9 years for doing something that nobody even can define what he did. Somebody said he put out a tweet, and the tweet, you based it on that. We have killers, we have murderers all over the place. Nothing happens. And then they put a man in jail and destroy his life, his family, his wife, his children. 9 years in jail. It's a disgrace. In the meantime, Comey walks around making book deals. The people that launched the scam investigation, and what they did is a disgrace. And hopefully it'll be treated fairly. Everything else will be treated fairly.
Now, Roger Stone is not convicted of doing nothing. He's convicted of lying to Congress. He's convicted of obstructing justice. You could say these are process crimes, but for this...
5 counts of lying to Congress, 1 count of witness tampering, and 1 count of obstruction of Congress.
So for the investigation, there wouldn't have been any crimes.
And remember when they raided his house, what great lengths they went to, like he was some huge drug kingpin. They had tanks out front. They had 2 helicopters overhead. It was ridiculous what they did. Just stupid. I mean, it was embarrassing.
So he was not convicted of doing nothing.
Right.
So there are convictions there. The question is the sentence recommendation proportionate to the crimes he was convicted of?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
And the answer is clearly not. And by the way, since we're on the subject of lying under oath, there's still this pending reckoning for Andy McCabe, for whom criminal charges were recommended by U.S. Attorney last fall. And I bring up Andy McCabe because, of course, he's senior leadership at the FBI, and Trump brought him up as well, along with Comey and Page and Strzok and the whole gaggle. And McCabe, if you haven't been paying attention, is a paid CNN contributor. So he was on with Fredo yesterday.
Oh, how is Fredo doing?
You got to listen to this exchange. Fredo and Andy McCabe talking about the imperious president.
How about this for an example? And look, you feel it's far-fetched, you tell me, Andrew. Mitt Romney. Hey, let's take a look at his taxes. Do me a favor, go look into him. See what holdings he still has and still he doesn't. And how about they get some stink on him? And he says, hey, put the screws to him. Oh, you know what? We have him on the case. We're going to cut him a deal. Really, this is going to be fresh. No, I want the max.
What you got?
If this is okay, why wouldn't that be okay? What is to stop it from being not what the president can do?
There's absolutely nothing to stop it. And I think we saw that again today in his comments in the Oval Office when the president, after talking about how bad he felt for Roger Stone, then rebounded into talking about how insistent he is that James Comey and I be prosecuted and thrown in jail.
And Vindman should be sent back to the military.
Exactly.
They keep his people keep selling us this soft landing thing. He's going to go to the war college. That's a peach gig. Everybody wants that. Now the president says he should be investigated by the military. What's to stop that from happening?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we know that this president makes his desires known to the agencies, to the agency heads through his public statements on Twitter. We know that. We've seen that, of course, in this case. I saw that in my own case when in December of 2017, he claimed that he was racing me to my retirement. I guess he won that race. So that's the way that he works.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing to stop him. Actually, there is. There's an attorney general. Trump said he didn't interfere. He did publicly tweet. If you think Bill Barr is just a toady for the president, then okay, that's your opinion. The same people didn't seem to mind when Eric Holder was protected by President Obama, didn't mind when Eric Holder served truly as a toady for President Obama. Remember, at Fast and Furious, President Obama protected Eric Holder by asserting executive privilege as Congress was trying to investigate Eric Holder's role in that Fast and Furious fiasco that resulted in the death of one Border Patrol agent, running guns to Mexican drug cartels. Genius. And Andy McCabe. So you actually do. You do have the separation of powers. You do have an independent attorney general with a track record that predates Trump by 3 decades. Oh, by the way. So that's not true. And also, I mean, the Stones, to continue with our New York tough talk with Fredo. The Stones of Andy McCabe and CNN to suborn Andy McCabe as a contributor, moralizing about this. This is a guy who we know from transcripts that were released last fall. Institutional memory, anybody? That he lied to the FBI. It's a crime when George Papadopoulos allegedly did it. He pled out to it, so convicted of it. And we're still waiting for it to be a crime with Andy McCabe. So I'm sorry, who is above the law again, if you want to have the above the law conversation? Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know what? Amy took my thunder when they raided that guy's house. It was almost like, I can't wait for that movie to come out, how they took down Roger Stone. But this last comment about the McCabe saying that Trump openly says what he wants done, well, isn't that what this country wants, transparency? Under Obama, when Nancy Lerner was investigating the Patriot people, I mean, that was all sneaky stuff under the table. When Jesse, I'm so upset. When Jesse Smollett was let go, bringing that back, because I'm sure you're going to be talking about that, who was interfering with Kim Foxx? None other than that candidate from California. I forgot her name right now. But these are all things that were done under the table. Here Trump is out in the open, being transparent. You'd think they'd appreciate that. Anyway, have a nice day.
Well, thanks for the call, Ed. I mean, the president's entitled to his opinion. That's right. That's right. And Lois Lerner, just a slight correction, Lois Lerner, IRS. So that's the other point. I'm glad you brought that up, Ed. Chris Cuomo talking about, go look at Mitt Romney's taxes. Go put some stink on him. Go look at Mitt Romney's taxes. Where were these same individuals? And then, of course, there's no evidence that anything of the sort has happened. Where were these same people when the IRS was targeting conservative groups, holding their 501c3 status over them, demanding that pro-life groups turn over copies of prayers they recite to the IRS? I mean, are you kidding me with these people? McCabe and Fredo and the whole rod of them on the left. Philip in Blue Island.
You say right of them on the left, and then you say Philip.
I know.
Funny.
Segue. Perfect segue to you. Right.
Right. That's
Hi,
pretty
Phil.
good. Anyway, we're talking about Trump, who I hate to go back in the past with the 5 in Central Park. And he took out a full-page ad, and even after they were exonerated, like he says he is, he still wanted them to be killed or executed because of a crime they didn't commit. And the fact that they raided Roger Stone's house, and now it's justified because now look at what he's doing. He's saying he didn't do anything. He's saying the sentencing was too long, even though they were following the sentencing guidelines. So Trump is he has no credibility when it comes to criminal justice for me at this point.
Thanks for the call, Philip. And I'm sure you were opposed to him signing the First Step Act, too, right? That criminal justice reform. I'm sure you were opposed to him pardoning Alice Johnson, too, right? Right, Philip? Yeah. And by the way, this is no defense of Roger Stone. Roger Stone is a goof.
Yeah, he is.
And so he should be sentenced proportionate and consistent with sentencing for similar for people similarly situated who were convicted of similar crimes. 7 to 9 years.
That's exorbitant. It's disgusting.
The average sentence for rape in this country is 4 years. just by comparison. And not to mention, forget even comparing sentences, comparing the prosecution of Roger Stone for those process crimes while we're still waiting for justice for other people who've effectively already admitted to process crimes, like your former deputy director of the FBI, Andy McCabe. This is no defense of Roger Stone. This is about equal justice before the law, which includes proportionality. And it's remarkable to me, all these master criminals. The Trump campaign was, half a set of goofballs, the Roger Stones and these nobodies from nowhere, frankly, George Papadopoulos, Paul Manafort.
Lewandowski.
Yeah.
And then that other guy.
It was a rogues gallery of mediocre talent at best.
It was a land of misfit toys.
But yes, they're all somehow like criminal geniuses too. At the same point, they're the threat to Western civilization. Can you pick a position, Democrats, socialists, and stick with it for 5 minutes, please? Coming to you live from Signature Bank. We're on our business tour.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Networks of the future are here now. Game-changing serverless networks with technology that's finally ready for prime time. Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business, increase productivity, save you money, and a lot of headaches. Imagine not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building and continue using all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365. Everything is in one place on the Office 365 cloud platform with all files and folders stored, backed up, and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can your business go serverless? Turnkey IT can get you started with a free 5-point assessment to determine if your business qualifies, and it only takes about 2 minutes. Visit turnkey.pro today to speak with one of their team members to find out more and join the growing number of companies using the Microsoft 365 platform now.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
You've heard Rumpke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Rumpke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Rumpke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Rumpke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Rumpke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to Rumpke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Rumpke's, REMKES, Garage.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Bloomberg says he's the person that can beat Donald Trump because names don't hurt him at 5:38.
And later, Snoop Dogg apologizes to Gayle King over the rant over Kobe Bryant. But now let's head into the newsroom. Catch up with news from here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Snow showers, 32 degrees. A lakeshore flood advisory is up for Lake and Cook counties in northwest Indiana. The CDC preparing for the coronavirus to take a foothold in the U.S. Nancy Messonnier, head of the agency's Center for Respiratory Diseases, says the U.S. or another country will likely see the spread of the virus, which has killed more than 1,000 and sickened tens of thousands more in China. The CDC also says that because of that coronavirus spread, there is a shortage of hockey sticks in the NHL. According to new reports, about 75% of sticks used by players come from factories in China. Bauer, which makes the sticks, told the Boston Globe they're concerned, but they do have some backup stocks in the U.S. and Canada. Closing arguments begin today in New York in the Harvey Weinstein rape trial. The head of the Iowa Democrat Party is resigning after last week's caucus fiasco. Troy Price, once again, apologized. 3 female high school athletes in Connecticut are suing to block transgender students from competing in high school sports. Chelsea Mitchell says They simply want a fair chance to win.
4 times I've run races fast enough to take home a state championship. Twice I finished well enough to win an All-New England award. And yet, each of those times, I've been displaced by a biological male.
The plaintiffs say 2 athletes who are biologically male have won 15 women's state championship track titles. National contest is underway to find the new Gerber spokesbaby. Judges are voting on the visual appeal, expressiveness, and consistency with the company's mission. Everything needs to be submitted to a company website by February 21st. A man is in critical condition this morning, shot by a liquor store's security guard on Chicago's west side. 4 are in critical condition after a Metra train hit a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. It happened near 87th and Pulaski Road yesterday. There's another push at the Illinois Capitol to add the HPV vaccine to the list of shots the kids need to begin junior high in the state. Canucks blanked the Blackhawks 3-0 in Vancouver. College hoops, Northwestern fell to Michigan in the Valley. Loyola topped Evansville. 5:34. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe we are where we are.
It's just every question is answered. This was so frustrating to me, watching all of this shift show. How is it even possible we are here? How is this possible? Especially knowing all that we know. It shouldn't be.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Speak Out, Illinois. Did you know that Illinois has the most extreme pro-abortion laws in the country? That the land of Lincoln is now an abortion destination?
Speak Out.
Did you know that an unborn child has no rights in Illinois?
Speak Out.
Did you know your tax dollars are paying for abortions in Illinois? And our state mandates insurance coverage for abortions.
Speak Out.
Now our legislators want to repeal parental notification for abortion for our teenage daughters.
Speak Out.
Speak Out Illinois is a coalition of citizens fighting to protect life while supporting safe, compassionate alternatives to abortion. Join the fight for life at Speak Out Illinois' annual conference on Saturday, February 29th at the Drury Lane in Oak Brook. Visit speakoutillinois.org. That's speakoutillinois.org.
Speak Out.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
Hi, my name's Lisa, and I just completed a cash-out refinance bank statement loan with Townstone Financial. I called Townstone Financial because I had a lot of equity in my house, but I also had a lot of credit card debt, and I wanted to take the equity out of my house to pay off my credit card debt, and nobody could help me with that because I'm self-employed. But Barry at Townstone had a program for me. Now I'm comfortable. I've paid off my debt, and I'm happy.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
5:37, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
CTA Yellow Line trains are standing at Oakton right now due to switching problems. West Chicago, it's got 2 crashes at Roosevelt Road, 1 at Fabian Parkway in Washington, and 1 at Town Road. It is slippery and snowy across much of the area. Speeds are reduced on the expressways. Half on Eisenhower at York Road, there is a spin out, and no real congestion on the Eichmann. Speeds are reduced. In Mount Ryan, traffic is slow, 87th to the Skyway, and then approaching downtown. 18 minutes, 95th to the Burn Circle. Bishoport, 21 minutes, 80-94 to the Merge. Crash on the Adams Tollway eastbound near 31 of the 2 left lanes. Traffic is backed up to the Elgin Toll. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, windy, frigid, clouds and snow showers, another 1 to 2 inches expected. High of 19 today, and we're already seeing those temperatures drop. Right now it's 28 at O'Hare, 29 Lakefront, 24 in Aurora, but just to our west, 17 in Rockford, and 18 in Rochelle, and the cold is moving our way. Next news update coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
James Rosen, nationally syndicated investigative reporter, but also one-man show.
There's a certain fondness for my De Niro. You give me all these answers, but you don't give me the right answers. So I swear to God, I'm going to kill somebody.
It's
You're very
pretty good. I know, completely.
Brilliant.
On AM 560.
You're very smart, Joey. You give me all these answers, but you ain't give me the right answer.
The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live this morning from Signature Bank's world headquarters in Rosemont. We're launching our Signature Bank Business Tour, 6th annual. So we'll be broadcasting from business locations throughout the Chicagoland region in the coming weeks. Excited to do this again. It's always fun to get out.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to Signature Bank folk a little bit later on in the show. President Trump says, he'll take whoever, but he's inclined to want to run against Bloomberg. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, is that the candidate you want the president to face, Mike Bloomberg?
He's a lightweight. You're going to find that out. He's also one of the worst debaters I've ever seen, and his presence is zero. So he'll spend his $500 million. Maybe they will take it away. Frankly, I'd rather run against Bloomberg than Bernie Sanders, because Sanders has real followers, whether you like him or not, whether you agree with him or not. I happen to think it's terrible what he says, but he has followers. Bloomberg's just buying his way in. But we're going to find out what happens.
Not to count everybody out, but Bloomberg, the two mayors, and Bernie, who this is looking to be right now, sort of tier one at least. Right. But Joe Biden has released a new digital ad.
Oh, no.
Saying, hey.
Do I have to cover my eyes, or is he talking about malarkey and pony dog-faced people? Or
no, what? Just saying, hey, pump the brakes, man. He's just getting warmed up.
We're in the battle for the soul of this nation. Now so much we've gained is under attack. We have a tremendous opportunity to take the next great step forward. We don't feel no ways tired. We've come too far from where we started.
Yeah.
Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to stop now. If you don't like what's going on in this country, you only have one thing to do. Work. Together we can and will win. Let's take back this country now. We want to. We want to. We want to. We want to. We want to.
Did he pay those people to chant, "We want Joe"?
The tagline there is, "This is just getting started." If I could translate that, it translates to, in common parlance, it's over. So if we could just dismiss Joe Biden and get back to the candidates that actually have a chance of nomination, and particularly Bloomberg, because right now he's sort of the Goldilocks candidate, as Mark Penn described him.
He's the new it girl. I mean, and yesterday he got a lot of black endorsements. The mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, is backing him. You also have a Representative Gregory Meeks from New York, Lucy McBath from Georgia, and this, of course, very important endorsement from the Congresswoman from the U.S. Virgin Islands is backing him as well. But he was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Today he's going to be in North Carolina. Then he's on to Texas. And, well, he seems to have more support in the African-American community than Pete Buttigieg or Bernie Sanders
he doesn't
or
seem
Elizabeth
to.
Warren. He does.
In point of fact, right now there was polling that had him getting 22% of the black vote, second only to Joe Biden's 27%. So he's one of the reasons Joe Biden's black support has halved in the last several weeks. And you mentioned Bloomberg in Chattanooga. Here's Bloomberg's pitch. Boy, he is not going to inflame your heart but he's offering something that the Democrats have been unable to offer so far this campaign season, which is competence.
So let me tell you why I believe I'm the best candidate to take Donald Trump on and win. To start, I have workable and achievable plans to deal with the toughest challenges facing the country, and I will get it done. That's the message we need to win voters all over this country and to beat Trump in the swing states that will decide this election. Because we all know the Trump strategy. Attack Democrats, make their plans look unrealistic, unaffordable, and undoable. That won't work against me. I promise you, I offer a record of getting things done and common sense plans that are workable. That's what voters want. We don't need a revolution, we want evolution, and we need a nominee who can deliver it. But that's not all we have, all we need to win, because let's face it, Donald Trump is the world's biggest schoolyard bully with no respect for civility, decency, or the facts. And our party needs a candidate who can go toe-to-toe with him and take the fight to him, and I'm going to do that.
You know who he is? Mayor Emanuel. When I was watching him yesterday, because I saw that whole thing live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I thought that they sound alike, and they kind of look alike.
Yeah,
maybe similar. Let that.
I don't know what kind of dancing background Caesar Mike has, but yeah, they're both little people, people with big Napoleonic complexes. There's that. Bloomberg made his own way and made his own billions. Tiny Dancer was just a grifter who got a piece of the action to set himself
because of Ronner.
And then relies on his brother Ari to funnel cash to his campaign. So that's sort of how he had his thing. So they're not the same in terms of accomplishment.
Just their cadence. There's something about them. They remind me of each other.
Yeah, it's sort of like, hey, you don't need the
folksy.
wild-eyed rebel, is attractive and sexy. But I'm a good little lover. Why not try me on for size? I'm a stable. I'll be home at 5. I'll take out the trash. I'm a stable.
I'll clean it. I'll put my dishes in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Stable, refined little man, little gentleman. Chip in St. Charles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kirk Douglas endorsed Michael Bloomberg before he died.
Oh, yeah.
And I see the world of Michael Bloomberg as a very small world. You go to 7-Eleven and you can only get like a 6-ounce, cup of pop. It could be a world with no straws and no shopping bags when you go to the grocery store. I don't really understand the way these guys think, but I see our world shrinking. I see a world where we all have to stand on boxes at the podium and things like that. So.
Yeah, you go back. Thanks for the call. You get your proper sized soft drink, and you go back to your little home. I mean, like we were going to build small homes here.
In the Wizard of Oz, the midgets they did in Burbank. They built them little homes. So if you ever drive by the airport and you see why those doors are so tiny, they actually built that whole little neighborhood for them, and I think that'd be a perfect place for Bloomberg, Emanuel.
Yeah, I mean, they should do the same thing for like Democrat politician retirement homes.
Yeah, that's what it could be.
Yeah, small little villas.
This is so sweet.
Bloomberg continued that sticks and stones may break his bones, but Trump's names are never going to hurt him.
Donald Trump's insults do not bother me. I've never run away from a fight, and I can just tell you he's not going to bully me. I keep saying bully me. And I won't let him bully you either.
And here comes the applause line.
Pretty blessed. There's nothing Trump can do or say that can hurt me.
You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me with your words.
Yeah, I'll spend $300 million so far, maybe $500 million, but that's all right.
I just go. It's a fascinating thing. Can he buy his way to the nomination?
That's what he's doing.
Could he buy his way to the presidency? I don't know. I tend not to think so, particularly because he's running in the primary right now mainly against himself, his former self, and so how do you take credit for the accomplishments that occurred while he was mayor of New York City, when you're leading with an apology for many of those accomplishments, most notably the reduction in violent crime, as a presidential candidate. I just think that's difficult. It's a difficult trick to pull off. And again, it was just Trump mentioned this in his remarks about Bloomberg yesterday from the Oval Office. It's just a couple months ago in a black church in Brooklyn that he was doing a full retreat from stop and frisk.
The fact is, far too many innocent people were being stopped while we tried to do that. And the overwhelming majority of them were black and Latino. That may have included, I'm sorry to say, some of you here today. Perhaps yourself, or your children, or your grandchildren, or your neighbors, or your relatives. I spoke with many of the innocent people affected and listened to their frustrations and their anger. And as I said at the time, I'd be angry too.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. But remember, that's a very different tone than his tough New York City mayor talk from that Aspen Institute conference 5 years ago, where he that was recently released, that he tried to stop from being posted and accessible. Where you throw these kids up against the wall and you shake them down to see if they've got a gun. There are arguments pro and con with stop and frisk, but it's the demagoguery that's so insulting. And so this sort of morose, apologetic sophistry now with his presidential ambitions in front of him strikes me as just as insulting as his demagoguery in support of stop and frisk from 5 years earlier. But it is interesting, the support he's getting from black voters right now, being second only to Biden, as we mentioned. I had this conversation with Noah Rothman on my other show last night.
It's like your other woman, your other show.
Yeah. I'm transparent about it, though.
Yeah, thanks. It's Valentine's Day, too. Appreciate it.
They're thinking about legalizing polygamy in Utah.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's just sort of like, this is sort of big love radio.
And if I know you're doing it, is it really cheating?
That's right, exactly. Yes, you've sanctioned it.
Exactly.
But Rothman made the point, and that one of the appeals of Bloomberg among black voters was the reduction in violent crime in New York City under his mayoralty.
Yep.
And the idea that black voters are single issue voters, that the progressive left treats their minority coalition partners as single issue voters. All Latinos, all they care about is immigration reform. All blacks care about is reparative justice, like reparations. No. Even though violent crime is down nationally, in a lot of big cities, in particular neighborhoods that are majority minority, violent crime is a real problem. We know that in Chicago, obviously. And so you have a lot of black families that want the same thing that a lot of white families or middle-class black families have in the suburbs and the exurbs and rural areas, which is physical safety, the first responsibility of government at every level. Physical safety. And so it's more textured than the left and their media handmaidens would have you believe. And it reminded me, this conversation, of what happened in New York City 50 years earlier under Nelson Rockefeller. And we talked to Michael Javon Fortner, who's a black academic, on the topic, going back and looking at the draconian drug laws that were imposed in New York City in the 70s. That wasn't like Rockefeller coming up with this idea and just imposing it on the residents of New York City. That was black families in New York City neighborhoods that said, we need tougher laws, we need to remove predators and drug kingpins and violent individuals from our neighborhoods so our neighborhoods are safe too. It was the reverse. It was Rockefeller responding to the pleas of constituents. It wasn't Rockefeller imposing some, notion of justice, white man's justice on people. And I think that you're also sort of missing that with Bloomberg. The problem, of course, is that Bloomberg isn't embracing what he did. He's sort of, he's sort of trying to middle it by saying, as he did on The View, and he sort of did at that church in Brooklyn, it's a good idea, but we allowed it to go too far, and too many innocent people were rousted. And so I apologize for that aspect of it, that there wasn't a better quality control on it. I don't know. I mean, he does have the appeal of competence, particularly with respect to the rest of the field. But he certainly, I think, fails on the authenticity, the authenticity qualifier. And I just struggle to see him winning this nomination strictly through television, because he's certainly not going to win it with rallies of Fortune 1000 board members like he had in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is Dan and Amy coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont, kicking off our Signature Bank Business Tour.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Improving your home? Why not make it easy? Don't miss the Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Arlington Racecourse with free admission and parking. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home, inside and out. Get trusted advice on your upcoming projects as you speak with local and national experts who will help you with all of your home improvement needs. And be sure to attend the free expert seminars. Grab a seat for the free live cooking shows, see many live product demonstrations, register for the hourly cash giveaways, and so much more. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the Home and Garden Show this weekend. Open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday at the Arlington Racecourse, just east of Route 53 on Euclid in Arlington Heights, with free admission and free parking. For details, visit homeshowarlington.com. That's homeshowarlington.com.
This is Attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
It's never too early to think about what activities your son or daughter will do this summer. You want your kids to have fun during their break, but provide some structure and preparation for the next school year. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin. St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy offers fantastic summer programs, such as academic opportunities for personal success and adventure camp. Academic Ops offers 7th through 12th graders 5 weeks of summer classes supplemented with fun activities throughout. Adventure Camp is just how it sounds, an exciting camp that instills leadership, adventure skills training, and having fun. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy for your son or daughter with their overnight or day camp programs located in the beautiful Lake Country of Wisconsin, only 2 hours from Chicago. For more information, visit sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kashava, owner of Tulane & Associates, an accounting and tax service in Elk Grove Village. If you're a small business, feeling snubbed or overcharged by your current accounting firm, I invite you to give us a try. You shouldn't have to feel overlooked by your current tax accountant because you're a small business. Small businesses and individuals are my specialty. I will always treat you and your business with respect, and we'll take care of as much or as little as you'd like us to do. From payroll to sales taxes, financial statements to business and personal taxes, projections, or bookkeeping services. Call Tulane & Associates at 847-952-1510 or visit TulaneandAssociates.com. That's THULIN, Tulane & Associates. Get a no-cost 1-hour initial consultation that could change the way you do business. Call 847-952-1510. That's 847-952-1510.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and me.
At 6:06, coronavirus, or what's it called? COVID-19? It's got a technical name now. It's supposed to make landfall in the U.S. in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And locusts are coming from Africa.
The deadliest day yesterday, and the numbers in Chicago of people with coronavirus is rising. But let's head into their newsroom now. Here is Mike Scott.
Heavy snow and bitter cold blasting the area. 4 critically hurt after a Metro train hits a car on the southwest side. A short list of candidates revealed for Chicago's next top police official. Blackhawks blanked by the Canucks. College basketball action. Northwestern fell to Michigan. Windy, frigid, with blowing snow and very cold conditions today. 1 to 2 more inches of snow expected. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
The I word is back. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We should all be calling for the resignation of the Attorney General. If he won't resign, remember the Attorney General can be impeached.
Senator Elizabeth Warren on MSNBC among the Democrats angry over Attorney General Bill Barr's intervention in the sentencing of Trump associate Roger Stone, who was caught up in the Russia probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Attorney General Barr will go before the House Judiciary Committee next month as Democrats call for answers about the Justice Department stepping into the case of Roger Stone, who was convicted of witness tampering and lying to Congress. House Intelligence Committee Chair Democrat Adam Schiff says Barr is acting as a personal lawyer for the president.
People need to wake up and see what this Justice Department is doing under President and Bill Barr.
President Trump is praising Barr and clobbering prosecutors at the DOJ.
Frankly, they ought to apologize to a lot of the people whose lives they've ruined.
Ultimately, Stone's fate will be decided by U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson next week. Dave.
Rachel, back to Elizabeth Warren. She's cutting ad spending in South Carolina, and her distant fourth-place finish in the New Hampshire primary has her instead focusing on Nevada, the next contest a week from Saturday, and Maine, one of the Super Tuesday states in March. There is fallout from the Iowa caucus chaos. Democratic Party Chair Troy Price resigns there.
The delayed reporting of voter preferences led to calls for a partial recanvass of the results and brought into question Iowa's status as the first voting contest in the nation's presidential primary season.
Fox's Rich Dennison. There's been a huge one-day spike in coronavirus cases out of China, jumping by a third to nearly 60,000, and the number who died had the biggest one-day increase, up 254 to 13,067. China attributes the spike to faster diagnosis and how cases are characterized. World Health Organization Dr. Michael Ryan.
I think it's way too early to try and predict the beginning, the middle, or the end of this epidemic right now.
America's listening to Fox News.
Temperatures are rapidly dropping in and around the Chicago area. It is 22 degrees and snow showers in Chicago at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Just 1 hour ago, our temperature was 34. So that cold weather is really beginning to turn up. A lakeshore flood advisory has now been posted for Lake and Cook counties and northwest Indiana for the next 2 days as well. The National Weather Service says up to 5 inches of accumulated snow is expected to fall, and that winter weather advisory will be followed by a wicked winter chill. In other news this morning, a man got into an argument and it remains in critical condition after being shot by a liquor store's security guard on Chicago's west side. It happened at a store in the 3900 block of West Madison. 4 are in critical condition after a Metro train slammed into a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. The outbound Southwest service train hit that vehicle at a crossing near 87th and Pulaski Road. Aborted babies found at an Illinois abortion doctor's home have been laid to rest in Indiana. Attorney General Curtis Hill spoke at that funeral service yesterday in South Bend.
The shocking discovery was horrifying to anyone with normal sensibilities.
The remains were discovered in the garage and vehicle of Dr. Ulrich Klopfer after his death in September of 2019. He operated abortion clinics in South Bend, Gary, and Fort Wayne. 3 Chicago high school students are recovering after eating marijuana-laced granola bars. Police say paramedics responded yesterday to Curie High School. The freshmen, 2 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old girl, remain hospitalized in good condition. Canucks blanked the Blackhawks 3-0 in Vancouver. College hoops, Northwestern fell to Michigan 79-54. In the Valley, Loyola topped Evansville. The news is a service of Upwork. Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals, and here's an alphabetical list of them: accountants, administrative assistants, animators, architects. You get the point. When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all the noise and political spin of the news cycle, it's easy for the things that really matter to get lost. Sources with knowledge cuts through all the clutter to bring you biting commentary on the week's events. This Sunday at 3 p.m., your hosts Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser bring you insight on politics and policy, as well as culture, sports, food, and everything else you need, so you can understand what's happened this week. It's Sources with Knowledge this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 560. The Answer.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
The number one reason I started taking Balance of Nature was the quality and I think the proven science behind it piqued my interest. I've tried so many different types of supplements, whether they're dietary supplements or just general vitamins. This is the only dietary supplement that I've ever taken where I actually felt a noticeable change. To me, that speaks volumes, you know.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Your business is unique. So are Accountim Staffing Solutions. Turn to their salaried professional service for exclusive access to full-time consultants for your long-term and recurring project needs. Visit AccountTimps.com. AccountTimps, a Robert Half company.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
6:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
CTA Yellow Line trains are still standing at Oakton Station in Skokie due to switching problems. West Chicago Roosevelt Road is closed westbound. Town Road to Fabian Parkway in Washington. A major collision involving a pace bus and 2 cars. Speeds are reduced on the expressways. Kennedy, already about 25 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Inbound Eisenhower, Mannheim, there's a crash reported. More delays kick in around 9th Avenue, 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes, 93rd. Bishopport already 32. Speeds are reduced on the tollways, but traffic there is light. I'm Chip Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. Clouds and occasional snow and flurries. Windy, frigid with blowing and drifting snow. 1 to 2 inches, high 19. Clear, bitter cold tonight, low 0. And then sunny, frigid tomorrow, the high 17. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560 The Answer.
Temperatures are plummeting at the moment. Is 22 at O'Hare, 26 at Midway. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Signature Bank HQ in Rosemont, IL. Launching our Signature Bank business tour this morning, and happy to be here. We'll talk to Kevin Mastuga, one of the co-founders of Signature Bank, in the 7 o'clock hour. And we'll be, from here in the next several weeks, be broadcasting from businesses around Chicagoland. So we're happy to get out and talk to folks again, as we've done now 6 years running.
Yeah, and this is a beautiful place. This is their, last year we were in their other location, Edison Park.
Yep.
And this year here, and this is, I mean, they really have nice things, if you know what I mean.
It's going to be sad when...
I like nice things, and so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be sad when this place, the entire region, is deserted and we're all dead, this being our last business tour, because we're all going to catch COVID-19 and be ushered into an early grave. Health experts testifying before Congress yesterday, including Scott Gottlieb. We've had on the show before.
Yeah.
He's a respected doctor. We're going to start seeing those outbreaks emerge sometime in the next 2 to 4 weeks, he said. We should be leaning in very aggressively to try to broaden diagnostic screening right now, particularly in communities where there's a lot of immigration, where these efforts could emerge to identify them early enough that they'll be small enough that we can intervene to prevent more epidemic spread in this country. Another professional, Asher George, ED of the Bipartisan Commission on Biodefense, said, I don't think we should be planning for onesie-twosie cases that we've been seeing thus far in the United States. We have to plan for the possibility that we have thousands of cases.
Yeah, and right now there's 1,000 Americans under quarantine. There's a second case, so now that's the 15th in the United States, a second case at that military base in San Diego, where the person was at the epicenter, was in Wuhan, and they airbacked them all took them on a charter plane to that base. So a second person there has it. But the numbers this morning are staggering. 242 dead yesterday, just in one single day, and 15,000 more cases detected. But what they're doing in Wuhan, now they're going door to door. And they're also fining people. You could be arrested and sent to prison if you have the virus and you're not coming forward and telling officials, and they'll give you money. They'll pay you $140 American dollars if you rat out your neighbor. So if you see your neighbor coughing or maybe having a fever and you call this number, this hotline, they'll pay you for it, to rat on your friend. Which I think is
the lives of others. We'll get to the Chinese government in a moment. I just want to add also CDC has weighed in on this as it pertains to America. Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Nancy Messner, who's the director of the CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, did a phone call with the press yesterday. She also said that the CDC is taking steps to prepare for the coronavirus to take a foothold in the U.S., quote unquote. At some point, we're likely to see community spread in the U.S. or other countries. And so there is these agencies sort of on the front lines are starting to have been and are starting to increase their evasive action in anticipation that there could be, as I said, and they said thousands of cases.
Okay. Are you getting concerned yet?
No. I'm responding proportionally as information becomes available because I don't have a hyperbaric chamber that I'm going to live the rest of my life in.
Did you see what they're taking people away in? If you have the coronavirus, they put you in this bubble coffin type of thing. And I'm going to end my life before I get into that little coffin thing.
You?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to go through this. So I'm protecting myself. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. And yes,
Yes, those offer no protection. Right.
Pardon? Well, no.
right.
These are surgical gloves. I got these from Rush Hospital the other day.
Boy.
I took a bunch with me. Maybe if you're nice, could give you some. And I wipe down every surface with Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. And there
we have one of those Roombas going around our area here, spraying bleach like those trucks in Wuhan, which is totally a show. It has nothing to do with quelling the spread of coronavirus. But hey,
well, is anybody
I mean,
concerned? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey Pro answer line. I found out it might have infiltrated WIND. Now, I'm going to tell you, one of our employees has a wife who works in an ER room at a hospital, and an Asian man came in, excuse me, I got to get rid of my coronavirus.
COVID-19.
And came in with a situation where he was in cardiac arrest. They kept him alive for a while, but then he passed away. They had found out that he had been in China and had flu-like symptoms, and he had been in China 22 days or 30 days prior to this. So you don't think it's not, and then so they're testing him to see if he had the coronavirus.
Do I think he died from natural causes? I don't know. I'm sure that there should be an investigation, it sounds like.
And although the nurses and the doctors had masks on and gloves, he could have had it, and then those people go back to their homes, and then those people go back to their workplaces, and they could just spread it because it spreads so quickly, and that's the problem with the coronavirus.
This sounds like a pitch for Amway. You sell it to your friends, and then they turn around and sell it to their friends, and then you're a millionaire, and that's how it works.
Yeah, it's a pyramid.
It's
scheme.
Multi-level marketing, a virus.
I think we talk about heroes all the time. There's a couple in Northwest Indiana. God bless them. They were in China when they're visiting their granddaughter, and his name is Rick. He's 63. He owns a concrete business. He traveled there last month with his wife, Anne, who's 60. And they saw, they saw the streets of Beijing just shutting down. Like there's, it's like a New York, but everybody was gone. So they started getting concerned. They came home early, and he self-quarantined himself in his house. He said he decided to quarantine their house for 2 weeks, even though they've shown no signs of the virus, no fever, no cough. But he said, quote, I didn't want to be the start of a domino effect. And this is a true American who cares about his fellow Americans.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Ken Zurich of Northwest Indiana, God bless you and your wife.
Right.
So their quarantine's almost over. And if you could see, he talked to the reporters through a window, his front window, and on the phone so they could see him and let him know. None of his family back in China has any symptoms, but he said he wanted to make sure that he was safe.
Well, why don't you be the change that you wish to see? Why don't you, either throw yourself on some pyre of dead bodies and sacrifice yourself for the greater good, or whatever it is you're suggesting people do, or squirrel yourself away in your biometric dome and
I wish I could.
And wait until this all passes. See how it turns out.
I don't. And then President Trump said that in the summer months it's going to get better, but if you see the numbers in warm climates right now, like Shanghai, Thailand, Taiwan, they're escalating. So this can't be killed by warm weather, I don't think. And, of course, we don't know the properties of it. But the CDC had sent all these kits out, Dan, for people to be tested, and they have to redo them because there was a flaw discovered in them.
I'm taking the approach of the oldest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's pay some tribute to longevity. A Japanese man is 112 years old. He's 20 days away from being 113 years old. Born in
your age, yeah.
Born in Japan in 1907. Yeah. Chitetsu Watanabe. He said his secret to success and longevity.
Right. What?
Don't get angry and keep smiling. So I'm just going to be.
I think it's a little too late for that.
I'm just going to be chill. And I'm going to keep smiling all the way through COVID-19.
The new Dan Proft.
Well, I mean, who am I to argue with Chitetsu Watanabe? and his 112 years on this planet. It's pretty impressive. Scott in Hanover Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Yeah, I wish we could all make it to 112. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I did read very recently that there's actually an entity that has a patent on the coronavirus. So if an entity actually has a patent on something like this, it kind of begs the question, why? Is it military based? And all of a sudden, what is China doing with it? And the fact that they may have been trying to play with something and they couldn't control it because, they always copy and the original thought isn't really where it should be over there or could be. But it just, the way it's growing, the where it came from, it kind of makes me wonder if someone has a weapon that maybe got out of control.
Well, yeah, thanks for the call, Scott. We've talked about this before. There's the issue of this virology lab in Wuhan, this bio-warfare lab, and whether or not that the virus could have somehow escaped or even something more nefarious from that lab. But the Chinese government has denied that. Obviously, you can't trust that, take that at face value. But there's no evidence to support that at this point. And again, with respect to the lethality of the virus, given the number of cases, if this was going to be some purposeful bio-warfare play, so sort of weak approach to take. So I don't know. Could it have been incompetence? Could it have been something obviously on a much smaller scale, like Chernobyl at that bio-warfare lab in Wuhan? It's possible. We don't know, and it's something that has been asked, but we just don't have evidence to support that is the case. John in Lincolnwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I had to call in because listening to Amy makes me want to just run and hide and just whatever. But
yes.
I mean, look, I was sick last week, really sick. I didn't have corona. I don't know what I had, but I took vitamin
did you have a
C,
fever?
a lot of it, and I'm fine. No, I didn't have a fever.
Right.
I think what it is, Amy, I'm not trying to. If you're scared, you're scared. But the state of fear that is put into people is absolutely amazing. They did this with bird flu, with swine flu. Now they have coronavirus.
This is different, though.
I mean, this is
my friend who is not concerned about Ebola is so concerned about this right now, and they've stopped. They were, molecular biologists who are trying to find a cure for cancer. Wait, let me finish. Are now all hands on deck to try and come up with a vaccine for this virus.
Amy,
and the weak people will die from it.
It's
just going to happen.
Look, a buddy of mine and me, I told him, take vitamin C. Take a lot of it, 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams a day, and we're fine.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
These people are panicked. I mean, with the masks and come on. Just read Michael Crichton's State of Fear, for God's sakes, and then you'll see what's going on. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call,
thank you.
John.
I'll put that on my beach reading list
to
calm me down.
If you make it to the trip. I mean,
you should hear this guy's story of trying to get out of China. They barely got out.
You can address a pandemic without inciting pandemonium.
Right. And in the meantime, I'm going to protect myself and my children.
And
I put on gloves. I have masks. I have gloves.
I understand. You can engage.
And I look foolish. I don't care.
As a free American, you can engage in whatever fiction you want, but don't be surprised when people call you out on that fiction.
I don't.
Or the baseless
fear
mongering. I know it's fine. You do it, but just and so we'll have this back and forth about it.
The best is when we went to Agassiz and I wore a mask while I was coaching, because 3 of my girls on my team have the flu, and the flu keeps going around. It doesn't stop.
Well, I mean, this is the same sort of fiction that's going on in China with the central planners there, the communists. This idea that there are 60 million Chinese inhabitants on mandatory lockdown, some 400 million in some sort of quarantine. Well, what does that look like? That's press release politics. What does that mean? Some form of quarantine, mandatory lockdown. What exactly does that mean?
They're in their houses.
Well, how do you know that?
I watch video every day. I'm online going YouTube. People screaming. They're stuck in their houses because they're not letting them out. Yeah. And if you go out, then there's a drone, police drone saying, "Put your mask on and go in your house."
You have no idea, and we have no idea. You're assuming all sorts of things that you have no idea of what's going on the ground in China with the Think about how many 60 million is. Think about how many 400 million is. The idea that the communists have this all handled, and this is just, because they use 400 million quarantine, 60 million on lockdown, that this is all neat and tidy, that's absurd. Why would we believe any of that? Which is why they lost control of the spread of the virus. In addition to that, you have a government that is not trusted by the people because they know it's a government that's in the business of disappearing people who become inconvenient. And so when this first started to spread, going back to February 7th, more than 20 patients infected with the disease were being investigated as threats to public safety. You're being investigated by Chinese communists as a threat to public safety. What are you going to do? Here's what they did.
What'd they do?
They lied about their travel history, avoided home quarantine. Some had been enlarged for weeks, taking part in a wide range of public activities without being detected. Because I'm not going to comply with my government because my government isn't here to help me. My government is here to eliminate me as a threat. So this is one of the costs of the central planning that so much of our country has a new fondness for with the Bernie Sanders and, frankly, the whole rest of the Democrat socialists. I mean, this is such an important conversation to have about these follies, these beautiful lies we're being told by politicians in this country about the magic of more government control over your lives, about the wonders of central planning. The government's going to do all and be all for you. How is that? I mean, and I'm not saying that they're talking about concentration camps for, minorities held in disfavor like the Chinese communists have erected. But I'm not saying they're not taking us down that path either, or they wouldn't be averse to it. Some of them. I mean, look at the Bernie Sanders supporters talking about gulags, for goodness sakes. That's serious business. Should be taken seriously.
Well, but here, do you trust our government officials that they're telling us the truth?
Yeah, I mean,
I called the city health department. Like, where do those two people that you released, do they live in Chinatown? Where do they live in Chicago? And they're not going to release any of that information.
To the extent that they know, and also, too, I mean, the idea that the omniscient government, the omnipotent government's comprised of, jerk-offs just like me and you. Like, look around in your neighborhood, Lakeview. Look at just other people with different skill sets, and some who just happen to be the idiot cousin of somebody in office. You're placing a lot of trust and faith for a lot in government at every level. This should be sort of a right-sizing moment in terms of your understanding of government and your desire to have government extend its benevolence over so much of your life, as it were.
And back to the virus, though, what we do know, people don't all die if you get the coronavirus. I mean, point in case, two people in Chicago.
People don't all die. What's the lethality rate? 1% to 3%?
Yeah, 15,000 cases.
So I mean.
Just yesterday, so the total, I mean, the numbers are just staggering. And who knows if they're even telling us the truth out of China, which I don't trust them to tell us the truth. Remember we had that woman on who said the death toll is what it is times 10.
Of course they're not telling us the truth. I mean, the Chinese communists are in the business of propaganda. This is the same approach of the Soviets from the Cold War era. Comrade Brezhnev has a slight cold. He's dead on a slab in the other room. Of course they're lying. Of course they're going to do everything to protect the image of the regime and to protect their position in power. You think they care about the lives of their people?
Heck no.
They are the means to political ends, and if they get in the way, they get rolled over. I mean, this is a country that spent 35 years killing children. Killing children. You have a second child, you are to leave that baby in a street somewhere and let it die because of the one-child policy. I mean, this is fact. So, of course, you shouldn't take any of this at face value. Amy and Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Hey, your rant, I totally agree with you 100%. I have no idea what this community is thinking. I see Bernie signs in people's yards, and I think I really need to have a conversation with you about this whole thing. But anyway, the coronavirus, I have a theory about this. Watch for the people who come up with the vaccine. And those are the people who created it, and this whole craziness that's going on around it, because they're going to make billions off of that because they scared the crap out of everybody.
I don't know. Thanks for calling me. I mean, there are, our big pharma companies. There are others. London, they were talking about testing, being almost ready for the animal testing phase on a possible vaccine as soon as April. So, I think the actual experts in terms of the development of vaccines or antiviral drugs, if not vaccines, I would
They're saying in a year.
Place my money on
at the end of 2020.
And they're also working to the diagnostic test that the CDC has.
Right,
they're
that
working,
they had to recall. And
yeah, but they're working not only to remedy that, but also then to distribute those diagnostic tests so you don't have to ship samples into the CDC and wait for the results to be returned.
Right. But then what if we do, because it is going to be here. It's not if, it's when. And I was told that all these military bases, all the quarantines, it's just to buy us time until it comes. I mean, are you going to be willing to leave your house if you have it and they want to ship you to some military base to be quarantined for 2 weeks? Anybody willing to do that?
No.
Yeah.
Marty in Naperville.
Listen, Dan, if men can pretend to be women and women can pretend to be men, Amy can pretend to be a hypochondriac. Stop shaming her. Hate has no home here.
Thanks for the call, Marty.
And real quick, there's a couple that's stuck on that ship in Tokyo, and they had drones bring in 2 cases of wine because they needed to get their drink on. And God bless them, they're in their masks and they're drinking wine. It's great.
Yeah, just be like awesome. You and your Lakeview
So
ladies.
they went out because they were in a nice cabin. They went out on their balcony and grabbed the wine from the drone, brought it back in. That's the way to feed the people on the ship.
Yeah, it's like the ending scene from Titanic. All right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to switch gears, talk about the Juicy Smollett indictment with Wilford Riley, poli-sci professor from Kentucky State University and author of the book Hate Crime Hoax. He had a good treatment on the Smollett case in his book. We'll have that at 6:36.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is the one and only Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Morning, everyone. Snow showers and rapidly falling temperatures. We're at 21 degrees right now at 6:29. Lakeshore flood advisory is up for Lake and Cook counties and northwest Indiana. We're watching a rapidly developing situation in Japan this morning, where a magnitude 6.9 earthquake has struck off the northeast coast of that country. Shaking could be felt in major parts of the island of Hokkaido, but there was no threat of a tsunami. Also, Japanese experts say there's no immediate reports of damage or injuries. A measure that would limit President Trump's ability to launch military strikes against Iran is moving forward in the Senate. Virginia Democrat Tim Kaine.
It's about Congress. It's about Congress fully inhabiting our Article I role to declare war and taking that deliberation seriously.
And a handful of Republicans joined with Democrats to pass the motion to a final vote on the Iran War Powers Resolution, a final vote expected later this week. Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard spending time in Maine this weekend. Hopes of boosting her White House campaign. She was with Fox News this morning.
They want to smear whose campaigns they want to undermine. This is exactly what we've been going through. And really, it's because I don't march to the beat of anybody else's drum. I am an independent thinker, and I make my decisions on policy, on legislation.
Gabbard is seeking the Democrat presidential nomination and will be focused on Maine, while others are focused on Nevada and South Carolina. The head of the Iowa Democrat Party is resigning after last week's caucus debacle. Troy Price said in a resignation letter his presence as chairman makes it more difficult for the Iowa Democratic Party to move forward. A man is in critical condition after being shot at a liquor store by a security guard on Chicago's west side. 4 are in critical condition after a Metra train slammed into a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. It happened at a crossing with a Southwest service train hitting that vehicle near 87th Street and Pulaski Road. After it was hit, that vehicle ran into a person nearby. 3 Chicago high school students are recovering after eating marijuana-laced granola bars. Police say paramedics responded yesterday to a call of students overdosing at Curie High School. The freshmen, 2 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old, are hospitalized in good condition. A video gambling operator denied approval to open a racetrack casino near Chicago is now suing the Illinois Gaming Board, alleging that one of its employees illegally accessed sensitive information about him and his company, then leaked it to 3 federal agencies. Rick Heidner saying the Gaming Board notified him January 31st that one of its employees improperly accessed his sensitive financial records. Canucks blanked the Blackhawks in Vancouver 3-0 last night. College hoops, Northwestern top Michigan in the Big Ten. In the Valley, Loyola over Evansville. The news is a service of Accountemps. Your business is unique. So are Accountemps staffing solutions. Turn to their salary professional service for exclusive access to full-time consultants for your long-term and recurring project needs. Visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't see fair elections from the DNC.
My only agenda on this issue is to figure out how do we have honest elections. The Democrats do not want honest elections, in my opinion. They are opposed to the idea that you must identify yourself when you vote. The most solemn thing that is done in a free country you can do without an ID.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-797-5868. 800-797-5868. That's 800-797-5868.
A business needs to be built on a great foundation, one with the framework of integrity and tradition. Chapel Design Build delivers just that, providing design build and general contracting services using Butler Steel Building Systems. Their projects dot the landscape from O'Hare to DeKalb. You see their work in office and warehouse additions, recreational facilities, large-scale distribution centers, and manufacturing plants all over northern Illinois. Partnering with Butler Steel Buildings, Chapel Design Build has developed an extensive subcontractor base and valuable market knowledge to get your quality-built project completed on time and on budget, ensuring your project is a success for your business and one that you will be proud of for years to come. The goal is to build lasting relationships with their clients using buildings that last from Butler. Get started on your next building project built with Butler Steel. Visit chapeldb.com. That's Chapel D as in design, B as in build.com.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
Actual patient testimonials results may vary.
The varicose veins and spider veins are hard to look at.
I wanted to hide my legs because they were all blue and spidery.
They feel like you're dragging bricks around.
At Vein Clinics of America, we want you to know you don't have to live with varicose and spider veins anymore.
It actually took my daughter pushing me to come into Vein Clinics of America, and I am so glad I came in.
If varicose and spider veins are forcing you to hide your legs, if you're tired of the pain and discomfort, we can help. For more than 35 years, Vein Clinics of America has been the leading expert in the minimally invasive treatment of vein disease, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
I love Vein Clinics of America. It was absolutely the best I could have ever experienced.
My legs looked beautiful, they felt beautiful, and I felt good inside.
Call now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-769-5700. 800-769-5700. That's 800-769-5700.
It is 6:36, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Flight boards at O'Hare show more than 50 cancellations this morning. Midway has 11. In West Chicago, Roosevelt Road is closed westbound from Town Road to Fabian Parkway in Washington due to a collision. On the outbound Ryan, the express lanes are closed. There are 2 crashes near 31st Street, and there's one near the Skyway inbound. Already 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes hiding to the merge, Bishop 425. Edens is fairly light still. Kennedy, 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, a little quicker than the express. Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. On the Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Speeds are reduced on the tollways due to the snow. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Windy, frigid with blowing snow and accumulating snow another 1 to 2 inches, a high of 19. 22 at O'Hare, 26 along the lakefront, dropping wind chills, and in some areas, some freezing fog. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kobaba. Every Saturday morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont, Illinois, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank business tour that we are launching today, and we'll be peripatetically moving around the Chicagoland area, broadcasting at other businesses.
What common spelling? Peripatetically?
Yeah, sure. In a Socratic sense. Yes, that's right.
I'm going to use that word today. Thank you. The word of the day.
6 years in a row. So we're out of our ivory tower and out with the hoi polloi, starting with bankers of all things. Good grief.
Well, it's a good start.
We'll talk to one of the principals, one of the co-founders of Signature Bank at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. But now we want to update our conversation from yesterday per the indictment of that French actor Jussie Smollett. 6 counts of disorderly conduct per the special prosecutor, Dan Webb, in the case, 35 days before an election, and conspiracy theories abound in Fox camp that this is an effort to try to upend her as she's cruising to a renomination and re-election and so on and so forth. And she had more to say yesterday. She had a funder, I believe.
Well, all right, so she had a fundraiser last night, and what happened was people from inside the fundraiser made a human tunnel for her. So when she got out of her SUV with her driver opening the door, she went straight into the event so the media couldn't talk to her. She did speak, though, earlier in the day. They're trying to walk back the accusations that this may be politically motivated.
Do you accept the criticism from the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he's not getting the information he asked for?
You know, that I don't know. We certainly are cooperating as best we can, and our folks will be huddling up to make sure that he has everything that he needs. No, our office filed charges in this case. It's the disposition that was a cause for difference. But I think he has the facts and evidence in the law to file charges.
Oh. Yeah, it's no big deal. And she's owned it. And we all just need to move on. One, singular mistake. And, of course, we talked a little bit about yesterday. Focus on this. Don't focus on the other things that Kim Fox, Soros-financed Kim Fox, has done, like other Soros-financed prosecutors around the country, which is to release violent criminals to commit more violent crimes while they're awaiting trial or after they have served a light sentence with the charges reduced, even on matters like guns, while you're against the backdrop, you're watching commercials from Kim Fox as well as her main competitor, this Conway kid, talking about how they're going to take on the NRA. They're going to take on the NRA, but they won't take on violent criminals who commit crimes with guns on Chicago streets. And, of course, this is too much of a contradiction for Cook County voters to reconcile, so they'll just go ahead and renominate Fox.
And real quick, Mayor Lightfoot, she talked about this yesterday, supporting Dan Webb's investigation, but also it shouldn't want to get in the politics of it, Dan.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to wade into the political fray of this. The timing is the timing. But as I said, the charges themselves seem to virtually mirror what the grand jury had returned.
Seemed to be virtually obvious to everyone from the get-go in this case. Yes, thank you for confirming what we all know to be true, Lori Lightfoot. Powerful statements from our elected officials. Courageous. Wow. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you weighed in. And, of course, she's post-political.
Yeah,
this says, look, Kim Fox, she's too busy being a law enforcer. Lori Lightfoot is too busy in the business of governance to sully themselves with politics in Chicago and Cook County. Heavens to Betsy, of course. But Jussie Smollett and the the subway, Jussie Smollett outside. Now I'm doing like
doing the
a
Dave
mashup
Chappelle,
of the
yeah.
Dave Chappelle. Jussie Smollett outside a subway is hardly the only hate crime hoax perpetrated. And so the question recently, there has been a spike in these swindles, and the question is why? Well, our next guest wrote a book about it called Hate Crime Hoax, How the Left is Selling a Fake Race War. He is Wilford Riley, who's a Chicago native, now an associate professor of political science at Kentucky State University, a historically black college. And he joins us now. Wilford, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Dan.
So the Smollett case is obviously perhaps it is the most celebrated hate crime hoax of the recent memory. But in your book, you document a number of other such instances that are equally ridiculous. Give us another example or two, and then the backstory in terms of why you decided to write this book.
Sure. And I will say, listening to that intro, the high for today is going to be 18, and the background on the politics. I am from Chicago, and that both brought back and moved away a little bit of nostalgia there. It sounds like things are pretty similar to what they've always been. But in all seriousness, the book Hate Crime Hoax, what I find in a sentence is that most of the most high-profile recent quote-unquote hate incidents, and to take you through a couple equally high-profile ones, I mean, Erica Thomas, the senator that claimed she was racially assaulted in a grocery store. What looked like the awful dreadlock cutting case in D.C., which will be in the new edition of the book. Covington Catholic, where the claim was that these high school athletes had abused an actual Native American shaman. They'd surrounded him, they chanted "Build the Wall," they'd shoved him, taken his sacred rain drum. Yasmin Saweed, the torn hijab on the New York 6 train. Hopewell Baptist, the claim that black churches were being burnt to the ground. You could just go on and on. I mean, all those turned out to be fakes. Duke Lacrosse, Goucher College. So I estimate in the book that at least 15% of hate incidents and a much higher percentage of high-profile incidents turn out to be absolute proven fakes, not sort of questionable cases, but demonstrable legal fakes. And the book was published by Regnery, obviously right-leaning, but very serious press. There are academic articles coming out of it. So this isn't really disputed. The question is why? Why is this happening?
Well, why is this happening? I mean, after writing the book, have you discovered, everybody has their own reasons for making up a lie, but what is the real reason?
Well, I think that there are two primary reasons that you see. The first is a desire for just sort of the tawdry things that come along with quote-unquote crimes of any kind. So you'll see people fake hate crime incidents, for example, for insurance money and that sort of payout. You definitely saw that in Chicago, where our highest profile hate crime hoax was the burning of Velvet Ultra Lounge, sort of the popular youth club, very gay-friendly, that was out there by the border with Oak Park. I mean, I've had friends that went there to dance. The owner set that on fire, essentially, and wrote anti-gay slurs throughout the building, this kind of thing, in an attempt to collect what I believe was a $250,000 insurance payout. But beyond that, I think the motivation for many people is a sort of notoriety or a promotion of this idea of victimization. And that gets into a really interesting narrative that we've made victimization a thing of value or a thing of power in the United States. So, I mean, people understand to some extent that when they falsify one of these incidents, there's an automatic group of allies. Southern Poverty Law Center comes to mind. The NAACP has filed briefs in a bunch of these cases that are going to line up behind you and support this as though it's something that actually happened. After his attack, Jussie Smollett, the mad Frenchman, did 17 minutes to start off Good Morning America. So I think there are two motivations. One is just money, reward, but the second is the idea that we've made it a thing of value to be a victim or to be abused in the USA, which is, of course, clinically insane.
Right, but he thought he was going to get away with it, though. That's what really bothers me. I mean, he as if our police are that stupid that they're not going to, connect the dots to know that what he said happened didn't even happen.
Well, I think that one of the things that is unfortunate but real about this area of crime or this area of behavior is that people do almost always get away with it. If you look at what actually happens in the majority of these hate crime hoax cases, they're treated as though they very seriously actually occurred, especially on college campuses. And even if they're uncovered, what you see is generally something like a single charge for the filing of a false police report. So the most interesting thing about hate crimes as a category isn't that they're all proven to be hoaxes, it's that there are no convictions in about 98% of them. If you look at data from California, for example, I mean, you have almost 1,000 claimed hate crimes in a typical year. Most recent year on record is 2017. But less than half of those actually involve charges brought by the prosecution, and the conviction rate in hate crimes is only about 6%. So unfortunately, even if you do falsify something, the odds are very, very high that you're never going to be prosecuted for that. It's never going to be proven exactly who wrote, the swastika on the bench. Was it a fraternity prank? Was it actual abuse? Or was it someone lying to make racial tensions even worse? We often never know.
And also, you have a lot of incentive for law enforcement because of the politically charged nature of these accusations. They want it to go away. There's not serious criminal penalties that attach, as you're describing, number one. So why expend the resources only to inflame criticism from all sides?
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. What you often see, and I think this is, obviously lean center-right politically. This is true of a lot of things covered by, quote-unquote, the left-wing media, the mainstream media. What you often see isn't a case being proven to have occurred or a case being proven not to have occurred, but what I jokingly call disappearing from the headlines. You kind of wonder whatever happened to that story. So if you look at a lot of the high profile, for example, incidents on college campuses after the election of Donald Trump, where students claimed that Trump supporters attacked them and beat them in one case, threw rocks at them in another case. Someone claimed their car was stolen. You don't find that there were any convictions in those cases, but you also don't find that anyone was prosecuted for false report. You basically just find that the paper trail stops. If you call the police department, they'll literally laugh and joke with you and say, well, I don't know, we're not working on that one too hard. So, yeah, there's not really not much motivation necessarily to say this was a fake.
Well, and then the flip side, since you brought up the press coverage of these incidents, the press coverage of the incident over the weekend in Jacksonville, Florida, where some 27-year-old kid takes his van and drives it through a Trump voter registration booth at a shopping mall. People dive out of the way. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. He's arrested. It's clear from the police report. He says somebody had to do something with respect to Trump voters and registering deplorables and so forth. So it was clear that he was politically motivated. But this is not getting anything like the kind of coverage that any of the hate crime hoaxes you described received in the initial days.
Yeah, I do think, we don't want to be conspiratorial, but there obviously are slants in the media. I wrote a second book, Taboo, the 10 Facts You Can't Talk About, discussing some of these conversations you're not supposed to have. And one of the things I mentioned just in the intro to that book is that if you actually look at individuals who are killed in violent encounters with the police, about 70% of them are white. They're just Caucasian guys. But if you look at media coverage of police shootings, more than 90% of it focuses on about the 20% minority of cases that involve African-American men. So there are definitely situations where storylines are created. I've never looked at, the data on one side versus the data on the other side, but I would be amazed if hate attacks on, for example, Republican voters receive the same level of coverage as, hate attacks on photogenic African-American kids or something like that. It's worth noting also that the hate crime laws themselves are fairly narrowly tailored. So attacking Republicans or even Democrats, if you look at sort of the political gangbanging from Antifa versus the Proud Boys and so on, those in general wouldn't be hate crime incidents. Hate crimes would be attacks based on race, sex, a very specific limited number of things, not social class, for example.
I wanted to also, since you teach at a historically black college, how are cases like the Jussie Smollett case and these other hate crime hoaxes, how are they treated? How was your book received on the campus of Kentucky State as compared to, say, you get around the country, speak at other college campuses, predominantly white colleges? Oh,
interestingly, historically black colleges don't have to pretend to be woke. I mean, some are. Harvard or Howard has a bit of a woke reputation. But I mean, the entire executive structure for my college, which includes me, is made up of upper middle class black guys. So there's not really necessarily a desire to breastfeed or, apologize for the deeds of our ancestors or whatever. So someone writing a best-selling right-leaning book at Kentucky State, there wasn't really much issue one way or another. And I will say, again, we at Kentucky State haven't had any of these incidents. I mean, again, our police department is a bunch of very well-qualified, no-nonsense black guys. So I think that there's a dramatic difference between how my book would be received at KSU or Morehouse or something like that, and how it would be received at, for example, the Claremont colleges, where I would be protested by a purple-haired crowd made up entirely of white people. So obviously, no dislike for either whites or African Americans, but I definitely think we haven't really had any of these problems. Yeah, purple hair, nothing wrong with it. Not my thing personally.
He is Wilford C. Riley. He's Associate Professor of Poli-Sci at Kentucky State University, author of the book Hate Crime Hoax, How the Left is Selling a Fake Race War. Wilford Riley, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Ford recalls 250,000 vehicles. BP plans to be net zero in emissions within the next 3 decades. And CVS posts quarterly earnings. Those stories next. In a recent survey, investors shared what they felt were the greatest threats to their retirement. It's no surprise the most common threats include stock market volatility, economic uncertainty, conflict in the Middle East, the 2020 presidential impeachment, and election. Unfortunately, there are many threats beyond your control that can affect your retirement savings. At Goldco, a leader in precious metals, the team believes one way to protect your investment portfolio is with physical gold and silver. Goldco has helped thousands of investors safeguard their retirement, especially in times of uncertainty. In fact, if you call 855-971-2006, Goldco will send you a free 1-ounce silver American Eagle coin. And all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. No obligation. 100% free. Call 855-971-2006 to get your free silver American Eagle coin. That's 855-971-2006. Ford recalling over 240,000 SUVs and cars because of a suspension fracture. The recall covers the Ford Flex, Taurus police car, the Taurus Show, and Lincoln MKT from 2013 through 2018. Almost all the recall vehicles in North America. CVS Health swinging to a fourth quarter profit, earning $1.75 billion in the final quarter of 2019. And energy company BP says it aims to eliminate or offset all carbon emissions from its oil and gas production by 2050. To achieve that goal, the London-based company says it will reorganize operations. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, we're just over a month into 2020, and it seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu, and don't even get me started about the coronavirus. And you know how you can stay healthy this year? Boost your immune system. And you could do that by eating well, and that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which you have to admit you're not doing on your own. So do what I started doing again, and that's take Balance of Nature. Just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. You're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. You hear stories right here on this radio station about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature, and the next story could be yours. I went to my dermatologist, and she said, my skin looks great. What are you doing? And my hair's thicker, and I told her I started taking Balance of Nature. Now I've sold her on taking Balance of Nature. So make 2020 a year of better health for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of veggies. So start your journey to better health today by calling 800-246-8751. That number again, 800-246-8751. Use discount code
Chicago, or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design is the outdoor luxury living contractor you know and love. And now they're excited to announce a new member of the family, Lots Custom Carpentry. From kitchens to bathrooms to basements and everything in between, Lots Custom Carpentry can help you with unique designs, exquisite finishes, and the finest craftsmanship. From the first design consultation to the big reveal, you'll experience a true partnership with the Lots Custom Carpentry team and deal directly with the owner. Make it happen. Live in luxury both inside and outside your home. With so many landscape and carpentry contractors to choose from, use a team that shares your values of hard work, honesty, integrity, and patriotism. AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry. They'd be honored to work with you.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design and Lots Custom Carpentry, proudly serving Lake, McHenry, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350-350. That's LIKE to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, real quickly, Dan, Snoop Dogg has apologized to Gayle King. He took to the Instagram yesterday and said, 2 wrongs don't make no right.
Profound.
When you're wrong, you got to fix it. And he just said that his emotions got the best of him.
Yeah, he was afraid Susan Rice and her posse was going to come beat him up or something.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Federalist publisher Ben Domenech about Joe Biden's end, which is near at 7:07.
And folks, that wasn't cannabis burning. It was a dinosaur suit. We'll explain. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott. Do you have that story, Mike?
I've seen it, heard it. It's interesting. Heavy snow and a bitter cold blasting the area. 4 critically hurt after a metro train hits a car on the southwest side. Blackhawks blanked by the Canucks. WIND. Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
It's the biggest one-day spike in coronavirus deaths yet. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. China upped the total today by 254, so it's now 1,367 deaths. And the number of infections spiked by a third to nearly 60,000 people. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, the leap in numbers raising fresh questions about the scale of the outbreak, but China insists it can be explained, pointing to a new method being used to diagnose cases involving faster tests, which enable earlier confirmations of infections. The World Health Organization, though, says it's seeking further clarity from Chinese authorities. China also announcing a leadership shakeup, firing 2 high-level officials in Hubei province, where the outbreak started. Dave?
Simon, there's been a 14th confirmed case in the U.S. It's a second person among a group quarantined in San Diego after being flown out of China, and 44 more passengers on a cruise ship quarantined near Tokyo have been infected. Democrats are calling on the Attorney General to resign, or suggesting that Bill Barr be impeached for intervening into Roger Stone's sentencing. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
The President of the United States is shattering any pretense to independence and integrity on the part of the Department of Justice.
A DOJ official says the intervention was not at the president's request. Stone is a Trump associate convicted in the Russia probe of lying to Congress, obstruction, and witness tampering. Now, the president got angry over the initial sentence recommendation.
They put him in for 9 years. It's a disgrace. And frankly, they ought to apologize to a lot of the people whose lives they've ruined.
4 prosecutors withdrew from the case after Barr called for a lighter sentence. The attorney general's agreed to testify at the House next month. And 2 minutes ago, President Trump tweeted that it looks like the 4-person in the jury in the Stone case had significant bias as well, apparently for posting some anti-Trump messages. America's listening to Fox News.
18 degrees and still some light snow showers in the area. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A lakeshore flood advisory is up for Lake and Cook counties in northwest Indiana today and through tomorrow. National Weather Service says snowfall's beginning to taper off, up to 5 inches of accumulation in some areas. A winter weather advisory remains in effect for Cook, DuPage, Will, Kane, and DeKalb counties. A man is in critical condition, shot by a liquor store's security guard on Chicago's west side. Police say the man got into an argument with that guard last night near Madison Food, Wine, and Spirits. The argument turned physical, and the guard opened fire. 4 are in critical condition after a Metro train hit a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. The outbound Southwest service train slammed into that vehicle last night at a rail crossing near 87th and Pulaski. After it was hit, the vehicle then ran into a nearby person. Chicago Police Board is whittling down its list of candidates vying to become the city's next top police official. The Tribune says the board's current roster of candidates includes former L.A. police official Sean Malinowski, suburban Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zeman, Chicago Deputy Chief Ernest Cato, and former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. A suburban high school student could be released later today after being held in federal immigration custody since last fall. Mighty Guzman Rivas' lawyers spoke after a judge granted her bond yesterday so she could be released to live with her school counselor.
When she found out that her case had been reopened and that she was going to get a bond hearing, she was the happiest I've seen her in literally since the moment I saw her in October. Guzman
Rivas fled to the U.S. in 2018 with her father from Honduras after gang members allegedly made death threats against the family. Vancouver over the Blackhawks 3-0. College hoops last night. Northwestern fell to Michigan. In the Valley, Loyola topped Evansville. The news service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The weather gets better and the commute gets easier when you love where you live. The team at Rocket Mortgage knows that, and they can help make your dream of home ownership a reality. Rocket Mortgage. Push button, get mortgage. 7:04. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity responds to the president's State of the Union.
We live in the greatest country God gave man. There's never been a country in the history of mankind that has ever accumulated more power and used it to advance the entire human condition than the United States. That's freedom. That's America. This is the country we live in. This is the people that we are.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Steve Cortez at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What would you do if you knew there was a place to learn step-by-step strategies designed to help you make the right moves inside the financial markets? A place to develop skills that can help you generate income and build confidence toward your retirement goals. At Online Trading Academy, we know there's an investor in all of us, and we know how to teach people just like you the skills and knowledge that could empower you to take better control of your financial future. Start by taking our free introductory class at a location near you. Learn about the biggest mistakes investors make and how you can learn to avoid them. Plus, you'll learn strategies that could help you make your money work harder for you. For over 20 years, Online Trading Academy has been teaching students skills designed to help them learn to invest with the confidence of the pros.
Call 844-778-7132 for 2 free tickets to a class in your area and receive our Professional Insiders Kit with lessons from our top instructors just for attending. That's 844-778-7132. 844-778-7132 or visit otaclass.com.
Because when you're feeling under the weather, the last thing you want to do is hike to the pharmacy. So let CVS deliver your prescriptions. Visit cvs.com/delivery for details. And treat yourself well at CVS.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 7:08, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Chicago's airports are reporting about 75 cancellations this morning, most of those at O'Hare. West Chicago, there's another crash blocking Roosevelt Road, this time the closures between Crest and Technology. Yorkville 47 is closed, Galena and 30 due to a wreck. Delays on eastbound I-83, 55 before Wolf. There's a crash in the left lane. Tollways have slow traffic across the board due to the conditions. Kennedy inbound, 34 minutes O'Hare to downtown. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes from 390. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 32 minutes from 95th. I-57, 24 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford, 46. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. Windy, frigid, blowing and drifting snow. Some snow and flurries, 1 to 2 inches today, high 19. It'll be clear, very cold tonight, low 0. And then sunshine, a frigid day tomorrow, the high at 17. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 20 degrees along the lakefront. It is 17 right now at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't miss the Ruger event at Shoot Point Blank, now through February 23rd. Save on all Ruger firearms, including the Ruger SR9C 9mm, starting at $279.99. Shop the Ruger event, in-store or online at shootpointblank.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont, Illinois, as we kick off our Signature Bank Business Tour, 6th annual. We'll be broadcasting from businesses around the Chicagoland region in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. And I think you can still go to businessbanktour.com if you want to submit your business.
We have some slots open.
For consideration.
Yes.
Interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. The White House fired me for my loyalty. Rich Higgins used to work at the National Security Council. You know, so much has been made that human donut George Conway has suggested they're going to have to impeach Trump again, you know, for firing the Vindman brothers and the purge at NSC. And then now layer in, you know, tweeting about Roger Stone's sentencing recommendation. But in terms of Vindman, Rich Higgins, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman wasn't the first staffer to be fired from President Trump's NSC and escorted from the premises by security. No, that would be him. I lost my job because I was loyal to the president. He signed up with Trump because Higgins liked Trump's commitment during the campaign to get the United States out of the quote-unquote endless wars. He said upon arriving to the National Security Council, I was shocked to find that resistance seemed to be the NSC's mission. Staffers were assigned to develop plans for ending U.S. involvement in Afghanistan. Instead, they came up with reasons why it couldn't be done. General H.R. McMaster, the National Security Advisor, delivered them to the president, explained why he couldn't keep his campaign promises. There were a few Trump loyalists on staff, but we were outnumbered and mostly ignored. It was clear that the Trump presidency wouldn't succeed unless the resistance was defeated. That meant Obama holdovers had to be replaced by people who would carry out the new president's agenda. We few loyalists drew up a list. When General McMaster found out, he called an all-hands assembly and declared, there are no holdovers. We are all on the same team. Higgins wrote his own appraisal of the situation in the form of a memo on May 27, entitled POTUS and Political Warfare, which he shared with his colleagues. He hoped it would be read by people in power and take action, even maybe make its way to the president himself. Instead, staffers told me Trump called McMaster into his office to talk about the memo and tell him to get on it. That's what happened. And then Deputy National Security Advisor Ricky Waddell told me I was fired, and 2 Secret Service agents escorted me from the building. Nobody called me a whistleblower or demanded an investigation. Congress didn't invite me to testify. Editorialists and pundits didn't express outrage about my firing, which was as it should be. I served at the pleasure of the president. So did General McMaster and everyone else on the NSC staff. That includes Colonel Vindman. His position on the NSC was not an entitlement any more than mine was, and he, as a military man, should understand that. Whatever his view of Mr. Trump and his policies, his duty was to serve loyally until he felt he no longer could, then resign. Resistance while in uniform undermines good order and discipline and is especially dishonorable, as we're being told to stand and applaud Colonel Vindman in absentia during Democrat socialist debates, as Joe Biden did on Friday night. So go ahead. Go ahead, Conway and the gang. Go ahead and pursue your latest iteration of impeachment. Go ahead on the Stone sentencing recommendation and whistle A.G. Barr before your committees, Schiff and Nadler. Go ahead and draft the latest articles of impeachment. Go ahead and bring out your paid CNN contributors like Andy McCabe, who's already admitted to lying to the FBI but hasn't been prosecuted. In other words, go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing. Unhinged, unserious, and unprincipled leftists. You couldn't be doing the president a bigger favor. For more on this, as well as the coming end of Joe Biden's third run for president, we're pleased to be joined by Ben Domenech. He is the publisher of The Federalist at Federalist.com. Ben, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
Before we get to Biden, Roger Stone is a goofball, like there are a lot of goofballs that have surrounded Trump over the years. But is the president not entitled to comment on a sentencing recommendation for Roger Stone? Is that something that may be unorthodox, but certainly is not worthy of the hysteria that it has generated?
Hey, look, he's a weird dude. I think he's someone who's been around for a long time, and I think we have a good perspective on who he is. The president's, of course, totally entitled to express his opinion about this. I don't think that there's anybody, even people who are not fans of Roger Stone, and I wouldn't include myself in that list, who thinks that 7 to 9 years is a normal recommendation for the kind of things that he's accused of. It's completely overblown, and I think that in this situation, you had a number of people, many of whom had connections to Robert Mueller and the investigation that was going on there, who were pressuring the DOJ to do this. And as soon as people learned about it, there was a reaction. And I think the Attorney General and the President are totally within bounds to say, hey, this is ridiculous. Let's not be too hasty here.
The sentence was so crazy. Even Jeffrey Toobin on CNN said it's ridiculous. 7 to 9 years. One, as Dan said earlier, rapists sometimes get just 4 years. But for him to publicly praise A.G. Barr over the ruling, does it look like he's, tipping the scales of justice to protect his friends?
I think it probably does look that way, but I do think in this situation, something like this was going to happen as soon as it became known anyway. There was not I don't think the president even needed to say what he said in order to get this looked at, because the attorney general, let's face it, is someone who is very much an institutionalist. He does not like the way that the agency has been shot through with a lot of different people who want to use it for their own political reasons to further what they believe, and he's very uncomfortable with that kind of thing. So, this was something where I think people both right and left, if they're being honest, would say that 7 to 9 years is ridiculous, and it needed to be rolled back.
Just on the matter of the pending Durham report, since we're sort of in this space, Barr over the holidays sort of suggested it would be months before it would be finished. You sort of were left with the impression, at least I was, that you're looking at a spring-summer unveiling. I mean, every time Andy McCabe is on CNN or Jim Comey writes an op-ed in the Washington Post, it's like turning the knife for so many people who listen to politicians talk about the Trump not being above the law. Nobody's above the law, but it certainly seems that Comey and McCabe and Brennan and perhaps others, former Obama administration cabinet officers perhaps, are allowed to operate above the law. And they really want to see some sort of accounting at minimum and reckoning, more likely, with respect to some of these individuals before they vote in November.
Isn't it weird how you can get away with leaking, with violating policies, with, skirting the rules, just so long as the media likes you and views you as somebody who is a cherished source on background or otherwise within the government or outside of it? I mean, it's just, do these rules matter or do they not? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when you had, Sandy Berger get in trouble for, stuffing documents into his socks, that were supposed to be, kept confidential. This is the sort of thing that these guys have gotten away with in impunity in ways that are, very obvious. McCabe in particular, it's insulting that anyone would be paying him as, a quote unquote trusted source on these matters, given how conflicted he is and given what we know about what he was willing to do and leak to the media in ways that really lead to higher levels of distrust in the institution. I think that there need to be ramifications for this. I think they need to happen before November, and I hope that the Durham report does a thorough reckoning when it comes to all of the different aspects of this that I think people still have a lot of serious questions about.
All right, let's move over to Joe Biden. You wrote an article, Why Joe Biden's Campaign is Collapsing. Is it ever possible for someone to come in fourth in Iowa, fifth in New Hampshire, and go on to win the Democratic nomination?
Well, there's first times for anything. I mean, this is something that historically has no precedent. But I think the thing we need to keep in mind here is, I was in South Carolina this weekend. I'll be heading back there in about 10 days to do coverage for the coming up primary at the end of the month. We've got 16 days now until that voting happens, and that's really the amount of time that Joe Biden has to turn things around. I don't think that he is 100% out of it, but the reality is that he's collapsing because the kind of people he appeals to no longer run the Democratic Party, even if they're an incredibly important part of the coalition. Biden has always appealed to more pragmatic minority voters across the South, the kind of people who are going to be voting on March 3rd, Super Tuesday, the kind of people who are voting in South Carolina on the 29th. But the fact is that the Democratic Party now is being run by woke white progressives who are overwhelmingly, higher earners and who don't particularly care for going backwards. They don't like the idea of having, this old white dude as their champion. They're much more inclined to, in this context, go for someone who is, in my view, a fake moderate like Pete Buttigieg, and do so out of desire for some kind of woke situation that benefits, a young gay candidate, more than someone who, on paper at least, still looks like the best competition that Democrats could afford to battle President Trump in the fall.
Yeah, with respect to Biden, though, I mean, particularly the halving of his black support in South Carolina and much of that going to Michael Bloomberg at present. It's interesting because how you describe Biden could have been his value proposition as a candidate, but he chose not to make it that much, as Bloomberg has spent so much of this campaign when he's, other than spending money on ads, apologizing for what he did as mayor of New York City, which is odd to me as well. But Biden has been pulled so far to the left to mimic and pantomime the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren positions on imprisoning fossil fuel executives and then so many other issues. He no longer can really lay claim to this idea. He's sort of a practical, moderate, common sense guy who is just looking to advance your economic security and physical security concerns. That's just not that's not what he's offering voters. He's offering them sort of, like I said, sort of a cheap pantomime of the leftists in the race.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to how much the Overton window has shifted on all of these different aspects. I mean, at this point, defending Obamacare is basically a conservative position, and in this dynamic, he basically is facing so many people who have forced him into these positions of having to bend over or apologize for his record. It doesn't really matter that he, has this long record of success in an environment where people are more fascinated by the new. They don't particularly care if you have any kind of proven success in any kind of context. And that's something that has frankly been a huge defense for him. Having a resume is a problem. And if you look across the litany of all the different policy positions that he's been forced into, that all the other people have had to, raise their hands for, it's basically amounts to, getting rid of a border, taking extreme positions on gun rights, taking extreme positions on abortion, things that are, put every candidate into kind of a culture war context, when Biden himself has not been a culture warrior in terms of his record of being kind of a pro-business Democrat over the course of his career.
And former Clintonista Mark Penn, writing in The Hill, essentially said the same, and he's worried that that 2020 can be something akin to a repeat of 1972 with McGovern. I mean, it won't be winning only one state because of the nature of how things have changed with the electoral map in certain states that Trump couldn't win under any circumstances. But he's certainly suggesting that, you nominate Bernie Sanders and you're going to see a landslide for Trump and the Republicans.
I'm not sure that that's true. I do think that, we will have, I think, a competitive race in the fall, no matter who they do nominate. But I do think that we're going toward a point now where Bernie Sanders may go into the convention with a plurality of delegates, probably not a majority of delegates. And then the question becomes, does he have the claim to that nomination, or does a majority of non-Bernie people basically take it away from him? And what does that do to the Democratic coalition? Because from my perspective, that's going to be a really bloody conflict.
Yeah, and that real quickly, Michael Bloomberg, yesterday he had the backing of 5 prominent African-American leaders, the mayor of Houston. He campaigned in Tennessee. Today he's in North Carolina, tomorrow in Texas. Where does he fit in all of this?
I think that's a big question. We really don't know what it looks like on Super Tuesday in terms of the kind of competition he's going to be able to put out there. But you could see a lot of situations where the delegate counts are not winner take all this time around, and so you could see situations where he's coming in second or third, but he's getting delegates pretty consistently. And I think that that's something that could cause a lot of people a lot of consternation, especially given the fact that he is not someone who's had to go out there, shake hands in the icy weather and answer questions from people to this point. He's going to be in the first debate coming up within the next week, and that's going to be the first opportunity people get to see him answer any questions in this race.
He is Ben Domenech, publisher of the Federalist, Federalist.com. Ben, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thanks.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out. No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
The American economy remains strong, and both business owners and employees are enjoying the benefits. Here at AM 560, we want to celebrate businesses that are thriving. Are you a business owner who's part of this great American success story? If so, we want to hear from you. Once again, we're taking the show on the road, launching it today, our Signature Bank business tour from Signature Bank in Rosemont. And we'll be broadcasting from Chicagoland businesses enjoying success as they serve their customers and clients through the hard work of their employees. We want to hear your story, share your success, and find out what makes your business run. It is the Signature Bank Business Tour. To submit your business for consideration, just go to bankbusinesstour.com. That's bankbusinesstour.com. And we might be broadcasting from your business in the near future.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, Hall of Fame baseball player. For me, swinging the bat and chasing my kids, it caught up with me. So I used Ecoderm, Relief Cream plus full spectrum CBD. It really made a difference, and it might be right for you too. I want to send you a free sample of Ecoderm, Relief Cream plus full spectrum CBD. Just text Ecoderm to 31996. This lab-tested cream from EcoSciences uses the highest quality hemp with the richest profiles on the market. We've been making quality CBD products for almost a decade and want to share this revolutionary cream with you today. Find out what this CBD craze is all about and if it really works for you. Ecoderm. Try it for free by texting Ecoderm to 31996. Text Ecoderm to 31996.
Text Ecoderm to 31996 now for your free sample from Frank Thomas while supplies last.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're live from Signature Bank in Rosemont, and we'll be talking, spend 10 or 12 minutes talking about SOFR replacing LIBOR when it comes to lending. I think that'd be a fascinating conversation with Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. Maybe we'll tackle some other pedestrian matters, too.
And later, it wasn't the pot, it was the dinosaur that did it. We'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Snow showers, 18 degrees. A lakeshore flood advisory is up for Lake and Cook counties in northwest Indiana for the next 24 hours. A magnitude 6.9 earthquake has struck off the coast of northeastern Japan. The shaking could be felt throughout most of Hokkaido Island. No threat of a tsunami right now. A cruise ship is finally docked in Cambodia after it was turned away by 5 ports over fears of the coronavirus. There are no known cases of the respiratory illness on board the Westerdam, operated by Holland America. The coronavirus death toll in China soars past 1,300. Health officials in the region where the outbreak is centered reported nearly 250 more deaths on Wednesday. The Senate is advancing a bill that would limit the president's ability to launch military strikes against Iran. Several Republicans joined with Democrats to pass the motion, including Maine Republican Susan Collins.
And recognizes that the framers did not vest in the president the authority to declare war unilaterally.
A final vote is expected later this week. Closing arguments begin today in the trial of Harvey Weinstein. The U.S. Department of Education is investigating Harvard and several other colleges for allegedly failing to report foreign funding. The investigation involves whether Harvard, Yale, and many other schools failed to report receiving billions of dollars from China. The head of the Iowa Democrat Party is resigning over last week's caucus debacle. Troy Price handed in his resignation letter yesterday. Kohl's is laying off 250 workers as it restructures after a lower than expected holiday season number. The department store chain says the layoffs will streamline communications and eliminate overlap in regional management positions. There are no stores that will be closing. 4 are in critical condition this morning after a Metro train hit a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. It happened at a crossing near 87th and Pulaski Road. Chicago Police Board whittling down its list of candidates vying to become the city's next top police official. The Tribune reports that roster of candidates includes former L.A. police official Sean Malinowski, Suburban Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zeman, Chicago Deputy Chief Ernest Cato, and former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. Blackhawks on the road in Vancouver, and they were blanked 3-0 by the Canucks. College hoops last night. Northwestern fell to Michigan. In the Valley, Loyola, a winner over Evansville. The news, a service of Indeed.com. You only want to use the best route to drive across town, so do the same when you need to hire. Indeed provides hiring managers the straightest path to the best new employees. Customized solutions like screener questions and skills tests will help you see beyond the resume. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all the noise and political spin of the news cycle, it's easy for the things that really matter to get lost. Sources with knowledge cuts through all the clutter to bring you biting commentary on the week's events. This Sunday at 3 p.m., your hosts Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser bring you insight on politics and policy, as well as culture, sports, food, and everything else you need, so you can understand what's happened this week. It's Sources with Knowledge this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I'll tell you, I usually sleep on my side, and the joint pain in my shoulders has been just absolutely excruciating. Since I've been on your fruits and vegetables, the joint pain has gone away. That's an amazing thing because I have been suffering from that now for probably 20 years. And to have that just disappear like that, I give you guys all the credit for it because to have that disappear like it has is pretty amazing to me.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax.
We started our company 10 years ago in an effort to help our fellow Christians experiencing tax issues resolve their matters by taking a simple 3-step approach.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys that specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results. We're also a small firm who will treat you like family, not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
Proverbs 15:22 says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
7:36 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonti.
Flight boards at O'Hare show more than 80 cancellations right now. Midway has 11. Inbound Kennedy delays start coming out of O'Hare. 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Not much savings in the Express. Outbound 38 minutes to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes by Cook Junction. Outbound 31. The Eisenhower's 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 32 from Wolf. Outbound 43 minutes to 390. Northbound I-55 delays start at 126, and it's an hour and 9 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to Merge, Bishop Ford 50. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy. Southwest Highway to Balmoral. It's slow going in all the tollways. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, windy, frigid, blowing, snow, cloudy. 1 to 2 more inches expected, high of 19 today, bitter cold overnight, low 0. Frigid but sunny tomorrow, a high only of 17. It's 18 at O'Hare, 22 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Dan and Amy Chicago's Morning Answer program. See what I did there? I'm going to match it up. Coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont, the world headquarters of Signature Bank. This is our 5th annual Signature Bank Business Tour. I've been correct. I was overshooting.
Yeah,
I thought
you said
last
12
year I
and then
undershot.
20th, but it's our 5th.
This is our 5th annual Signature Bank Business Tour that we're launching today. So we're starting here at Signature Bank, and it's like a Bloomberg rally. You have all these people that have to stand and clap for Kevin Bastuga, the co-founder, who joins us now. Kevin, thanks so much for hosting us and joining us on the program. Appreciate it.
Thanks to you guys for being here.
And
Appreciate
I'm
the
overwhelmed with this new world headquarters that you have here in Rosemont. I mean, the decorative motif, I heard you are responsible for this.
I am not. There's designers and smarter people like Julie Simon that are more responsible for that. But it's turned out really well. We needed more space. We were expanding. We're in another building in Rosemont, and that space was not available. So we were quite cramped in there, and we took about 8,000 or 9,000 more square feet here. Soon to take some more on this floor at the end of the year.
So you could own the world.
And you got easy access to the outlet mall
Soon to
here.
be Galactic headquarters.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could do corporate outings at that parachute, that indoor parachuting
Yeah.
deal, right?
Skydive,
This is fun.
yeah, the skydive.
Yeah, you
Signing
got
a lot of waivers.
I mean, it's like bankers. 2 o'clock, you knock off, you go take in a movie right here.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, this
Right.
is great. And
Sure.
by the way, we apologize for having to have you get up so early and be in the office at this ungodly hour.
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
this is unusual for you.
There's a lot of logistical
Yeah.
planning that went into that.
We went to the same high school. Obviously, I'm more recognized than Kevin is. But I mean, you recall. I mean, you didn't show up to high school until 10, 11 o'clock.
Well, I mean,
How'd you get out of that? Would you have study hall at the
adolescent, teenage
first hour?
years? You need your rest.
Right.
So Signature Bank, business bank focused on Chicagoland businesses. This is like really an incredible success story. Starting a bank, no easy thing in this regulatory environment. You guys started, what, a dozen years ago?
2006.
Yeah, so 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And the success that you've had in serving the mid-size corporate customer in this market.
Correct. I mean, that's been the focus since day one is sort of to serve this gap that we saw in the market as the larger banks have gotten bigger. We've always focused and really enjoyed on serving these owner-operator, locally owned, locally run companies, of which there are a lot of in the Chicago area, as you know. A lot of old family kind of success stories and businesses that have changed hands and plant managers purchasing companies. And so we've seen a lot of stories over the years, and we enjoy this market.
So how do you help, say, if a small business wants to expand, what do you offer them?
So we usually sit down with them and talk to them about what their plan is and why they want to why they want to expand, whether that's a business reason, a physical reason. We obviously, being bankers, we're a little more conservative than sort of normal business operators, but we like to add value with our clients by walking them through the process, identifying the risks of those big decisions.
Yeah, because don't most small businesses fail within the first few years?
Most do, right?
Yeah.
Most do. But those opportunities that come about, they don't come about very often for those firms. And if it's a small manufacturing firm in, say, Elk Grove Village or somewhere down south, maybe taking on a new client or a new project or putting out a new product requires expansion in the form of new equipment or physical expansion to their facility. And those decisions need to be well thought out and well considered as to the risks, because especially for these family-owned companies, I mean, this is a sort of legacy company, and they're putting a lot of their business at risk by doing so. So we try to be methodical about that and try to be as supportive as possible. And as a bank, we love to finance growth.
Companies. Yeah, talk about financing growth in northeastern Illinois over the last 3 years. Just compare and contrast maybe what the last 3 years have been to the 3 or 4 years prior.
Yeah, it's really. I think we talked about this last year. It's been a strange 5 or 6 years. You've had this sort of prolonged economic cycle where it seems like there's just nothing that is going to derail the economic train anytime soon. And then we're in the unique spot of doing business in Illinois, which is the political climate and the economic climate is trending the other way. So we field questions from ownership of companies all the time as to what is our insight into that climate. Owners are.
Should I come back from Naples? Right, those kind of questions.
Well, exactly. And there's companies that have moved to Indiana. There's companies that have moved to Wisconsin.
Well, what's your pitch to try to get them to stay here?
What we try to pitch them is what's best for them. Okay. We really rely heavily on our electronic platform in terms of serving our customers. So whether they're here, Wisconsin, Indiana, Florida, it doesn't matter to us. Wherever they are, we're going to visit them. And,
right, you're not bounded by the corporate boundaries of Illinois. You go where your clients go.
Correct.
So they move across the border to Northwest
you
Indiana.
Still keep
then
their
you're
business. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
And so how much of that migration here, in the contiguous states, have you seen to Northwest Indiana, to Wisconsin, perhaps even Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, where people are, because that's a huge decision, particularly for some of these multi-generational businesses that have a lot of sunk costs in this state, to say our long-term play is going to be somewhere else, and we need you to help us make financial sense.
Yeah. So when companies look at that, all of that sounds good until you actually look at the execution of it. And you look at relocating a business, say from pick a suburb, South Holland to somewhere in Northwest Indiana, employees' lives get uprooted, right? And there are folks that are not going to go to the new location. On the backdrop of that, you've got a very, very, very tight employment market. So that's another restriction. We've seen companies move to Wisconsin and then have a really hard time getting labor to fill their plant. And we've seen people kind of jump around from company to company for $1 more an hour, which, God bless them, they should be able to. But, companies have expanded out there and then not been able to fill their plant and reach their production capacity. So it's just a really unique sort of combination of factors, both nationally and locally, that we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years.
And when you think about the future for Signature Bank, we've had other success stories in this region. Wintrust is a notable example of that.
Correct, yeah.
I mean, is that the plan for Signature Bank, to continue to grow your footprint, not just in terms of clientele, but also regionally and nationally?
Possibly. The fact of the matter is there's so much business here in Chicago, in the Chicago area, in Illinois, in the Midwest. As we see opportunities to follow clients to other geographies, we're certainly open to that. Really competitively, though, in the market, our opportunity exists in our ability to serve the market that we continue to serve as the Wintrust of the world get bigger.
So contrasting.
We've got a great relationship with Wintrust. They're a great bank.
Right.
I think the last I checked, they're a $35 billion institution. Our model differs a little bit in that we're a smaller bank. We'll cross $1 billion in assets this year, but we like to throw as much talent at each relationship as we can. And with our size and our model, we can do that right now.
So, yeah, contrast the sort of the model that you're describing with the big banks, the Bank of Americas, for example.
Sure. What we try to do when we're banking a company is the company will have an assigned account officer, and that will be the day-to-day relationship manager. But then we also like to assign a senior principal at the bank to each account. It's sort of on the basis of owners like to deal with owners, ultimately. And so it's not to sort of have a dual relationship. It's just to have another contact of a decision maker, because that's how we position ourselves, is that we're locally owned, the decision-making is local, the response time is quick. And, you know, we think that's really a big competitive advantage. So it's one thing that in our strategy that we really have to honor as time goes on and as we get bigger.
You know, I know you consider yourself a bit of an intellectual.
Oh, my gosh.
You know,
once a year in February for about 15 minutes, maybe 10.
So, I mean, no, I just, I ask because, a man of letters, U of I graduate. So, I mean, let's put this as. So,
where are you going with this?
If you could,
what's the word of the day?
If you could compare and/or contrast. Sean Rosenberg's theory that we're on the cusp of the end of democracy with Francis Fukuyama's end of history argument from 30 years ago. I'd just like to hear your perspective on that.
And you have 30 seconds to respond.
Not just as a financier, but as a Renaissance man and a public intellectual.
I'd like to know at what time of day you came up with that question, and then actually Googled it so that you could pronounce both of those.
I just came up with it now, actually, because
10 seconds to respond.
Because I'm
a
a jerk, and I like to try to embarrass
people. What was he like in high school?
Same.
What do you mean?
Same, but younger.
Asking the same question through the hallways, going up to random people and saying,
"Same." Kind of, really smart, a little bit grouchy. Slightly opinioned.
Good grouch. Good grouchy. Good grouchy. Right.
Good
Standards is what I mean.
Did you ever see him rap or not rap? Breakdance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wear parachute
For
pants
sure.
and. Did he
For
really
sure.
wear parachute pants?
Yeah.
Good
that
look.
was the White Hammer.
Right.
Oh my God.
So, and you're by the way, let's get a little plug in for alma mater here, Bennett Academy.
Oh yeah, Bennett Academy. That's right.
The best high school in the state. I mean, if you're interested in education. I don't know what they do at Amundsen, but with respect to you're continuing the tradition, so I want you to give a plug in for Bennett because you got kids at Bennett.
Oh,
I do.
you do.
My sophomore girl, my oldest, is there. I've got 3 younger ones that go to St. Joseph Catholic School in Downers Grove, and she's loved her experience there. It's been great.
Are they all going to go to Bennett now?
We'll see. It'll be up to each one of them. And it's a pretty
give 1 to 1. You must like that one the best.
Well,
the one that goes to Bennett.
It's a tougher
Dad's
commute
favorite.
from Scottsdale.
Oh yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, so you got to keep that in mind.
Naples.
Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank, executive vice president of Signature Bank, and thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your continued success.
Thank
you
you
both.
both.
With continued success at Signature Bank. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont. We're launching our Signature Bank business tour this week.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
What would you do if you knew there was a place to learn step-by-step strategies designed to help you make the right moves inside the financial markets? A place to develop skills that can help you generate income and build confidence towards your retirement goals. At Online Trading Academy, we know there's an investor in all of us, and we know how to teach people just like you the skills and knowledge that could empower you to take better control of your financial future. Start by taking our free introductory class at a location near you. Learn about the biggest mistakes investors make and how you can learn to avoid them. Plus, you'll learn strategies that could help you make your money work harder for you. For over 20 years, Online Trading Academy has been teaching students skills designed to help them learn to invest with the confidence of the pros.
Call 844-778-7132 for 2 free tickets to a class in your area and receive our Professional Insiders Kit with lessons from our top instructors just for attending. That's 844-778-7132. 844-778-7132 or visit otaclass.com.
Hey, we're just a month into 2020. It seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu, and don't get me started on that coronavirus. And you know how you can stay healthy this year? Boost your immune system, and you can do that by sleeping well, but also eating well. And that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which I know you're not doing on your own. Be honest with yourself. You should be taking Balance of Nature. Just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. No preservatives, no dyes, no GMO, all natural. And you hear stories right here about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature. The next one could be yours. I was off it for a while. I was so sick. Been back on it for 4 weeks now. My energy level's up. I sleep well at night. My dermatologist noticed that my skin looked better. She even said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm taking Balance of Nature." So guess what? She's taking Balance of Nature too. And right now, free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today by calling 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago, or simply go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hey, if you've thought about taking advantage of the 2-for-1 offer on the MyPillow Giza cotton sheets, do it today. It could be over anytime. A great Valentine's Day gift, huh? Honey, I got 2 sets for the price of 1. And you've heard me talk endlessly about the great night's sleep you get, and I get, with MyPillow and those soft, comfy Giza cotton sheets. So if you've procrastinated, do it now and get 2 sets for the price of 1. Plus, if you use the promo code AMY, A-M-Y, you still get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, the mattress toppers, towels, you name it, all of it. And then you have free shipping, too. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special box and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1, and best deals on all other great products. That's MyPillow.com, promo code AMY, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and tell them Amy sent you.
Score 18 Indoor Golf in Naperville offers the ultimate indoor golf simulation experience in Illinois, perfect for beginners and seasoned golfers. Score 18 lets you play 150,000 of the most popular courses in the world in beautiful 4K reality. Watch your ball fly in real time, exactly as it would on the course, including exact distance, trajectory, launch speed, and a diagram showing you your club's head's position through impact. Score 18 Indoor Golf also offers custom installations in your home or business from start to finish, including all permits and build-outs to make your home or business the best you can imagine. No project is too big, and Score 18 will travel to you to make your indoor golf dream become a reality. Discounts available for seniors and military. And Score 18 has a playable 19th hole with a full food and drink menu available. For more information on the most incredible, realistic indoor golf experience in Illinois, visit score18indoorgolf.com. That's score18indoorgolf.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, are you following the fate of the supergiant star Betelgeuse, or actually in the proper Arabic, Yetelgeuse?
Yetelgeuse, no.
You're not following this?
Should I be?
Yes,
Is there
you
something
should.
more to worry about? Do I have to glove up?
No, the Betelgeuse, Yetelgeuse, it's a star that has no more than 100,000 years left to burn.
Okay.
It could possibility
what?
That in the next few months we could see a light show that humans haven't seen since the 17th century.
Ooh.
When it does go supernova.
Okay.
Yeah. So
hopefully it won't be cloudy here.
Well, and the interesting thing about this, because gets into the billions and billions of stars, if I can do my Carl Sagan. So light takes 700 years to travel from Betelgeuse to the Earth. So scientists are waiting to see if an event is going to have occurred 700 years ago.
I see what you're doing. So it's
the past.
The past catches up with the present.
It's like a Back to the Future, minus the DeLorean. Yeah, and it reminded me of this other story, this book that Michael Masters, who's a professor of biological anthropology in Montana, wrote about UFOs. That the UFOs and I feel like Art Bell here. Like I'm about to start talking about chupacabras.
I used to live near Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, excuse me.
So Masters posits that there's that the UFOs are extraterrestrials. They are us in the future coming back to study us in the present.
And telling people to wear gloves and masks so you don't get the coronavirus.
You don't survive in the future.
What?
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Dan?
No. They're coming back to study their past to understand why people like you didn't survive, and then they evolved into these extraterrestrials that were able to travel back into the past to study the lesser developed iterations of them, meaning us. Do you understand all that?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that a fun theory?
It is.
I don't know. I like sci-fi, because I'm a lonely guy.
And you have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer as we continue our opening day of the Signature Bank tour.
We're going to talk to Sarah Gadd. She is a candidate for Congress in Chicago, running in the Democrat primary against...
Who? I know.
Clutching my pearls. One Bobby Rush. She's challenging Bobby Rush for the Democrat nomination.
You know who else sought out that seat at one point in time? Barack Obama.
Yes, and he got hammered by Bobby Rush.
He sure did.
Yes.
And but first now, let's head into the newsroom, get news from here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Heavy snow and bitter cold is blistering the area this morning. Man shot by his security guard at a West Side liquor store is in critical condition. 4 critically hurt after a Metro train hits a car on the southwest side. The widow of slain Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer is suing a gun website. And the short list of candidates has been revealed for Chicago's next police superintendent. Blackhawks blanked by the Canucks, a windy, frigid day with blowing snow. WINT, Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
A new line of attack in the Roger Stone case. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A member of the jury that convicted the Trump associate in the Russia probe is now getting the president's attention for reportedly posting online praise for the 4 prosecutors who withdrew from the case after the Justice Department intervened before sentencing. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president tweeting now, it looks like the 4-person in the jury in the Roger Stone case had significant bias. There is no evidence of any bias on the part of any member of the jury which convicted Stone for obstructing a congressional inquiry, witness intimidation, and repeatedly lying to federal investigators. Stone will be sentenced next week. The Justice Department's decision to reverse itself and recommend less prison time for Stone has Democrats calling for Attorney General Bill Barr to resign. He will testify next month at a House hearing. Dave?
John, later today, the president will sit down with a rival, New York's Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's upset his state's been taken out of a federal trusted traveler program for not sharing DMV records for background checks.
It's hard to compromise, I think, on national security, but I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens. I won't get ahead of that. Okay. We certainly hope for a constructive conversation.
White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham on Fox and Friends. Cuomo argues the Trump administration wants access to the info on illegal immigrants who are now allowed to get driver's licenses in New York. The coronavirus was blamed today for 254 more deaths in China, the biggest one-day spike yet. Now 1,367 people have died. There are a third more cases as well, up to nearly 60,000 infections. China says the increases are from faster diagnosis and new classifications.
The Chinese government has not been honest at all about this. They are completely overwhelmed at this point. They are not leveling with anybody, certainly not with us.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley, there's the 14th confirmed case in the U.S., someone in San Diego in quarantine already. Closing arguments start today at Harvey Weinstein's trial in New York. The ex-Hollywood producer charged with raping or sexually assaulting 2 women. America's listening to Fox News.
Snow showers, 18 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. There's a lakeshore flood advisory up for Lake and Cook counties in northwest Indiana for today and parts of tomorrow. National Weather Service says up to 5 inches of snow has fallen across the area. Winter weather advisory is in effect until noontime. A man is in critical condition after being shot by a liquor store's security guard on Chicago's west side. The argument turned physical. The guard opened fire, striking the man in the legs and back. 4 are in critical condition after a Metra train hit a vehicle on Chicago's southwest side. The outbound Southwest service train hit that vehicle at a crossing near 87th and Pulaski Road. Chicago Police Board whittling down its list of candidates vying to become the city's next police superintendent. The Tribune is reporting the board's current roster of candidates includes former Los Angeles police official Sean Malinowski, suburban Aurora Police Chief Kristen Zeman, Chicago Deputy Chief Ernest Cato, and former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. The widow of a slain Chicago Police Department commander has filed a lawsuit against the website used to sell the gun tied to her husband's death. Erin Bauer, wife of Commander Paul Bauer, filed the suit against armslist.com in U.S. District Court in Milwaukee. Vancouver over the Blackhawks 3-0. College hoops, Northwestern beat Michigan 79-54. It's 8:03. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Southwest Airlines is now removing the Boeing 737 MAX jets from its schedule until August 10th. It previously planned to stop flying the planes until June 6th. Southwest says there is continued uncertainty around the timing of when the grounding of the planes will be lifted. Kraft Heinz shares are losing ground after its mixed quarter. It made money in the period after losing money a year ago, but its sales were disappointing. Insurance company AIG, PepsiCo, and China's Alibaba all reported stronger than expected earnings. Canadian company Aurora Cannabis shares are skidding after releasing its quarterly information, though it neglected to offer any details about how much money the company is losing. There are renewed concerns about the economic impact of China's coronavirus after an increase in the number of new cases. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Steve Cortez.
Regarding Vindman, a mid-level bureaucrat, which is what he is in the National Security Council, does not have the right to determine the foreign policy of the United States of America. Donald Trump was hired essentially to be the leader of American foreign policy, and he deserves a staff that aims to fulfill his priorities, not the goals of the political class.
The Steve Cortez Show. Weeknights at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Improving your home? Why not make it easy? Don't miss the Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Arlington Racecourse with free admission and parking. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home, inside and out. Get trusted advice on your upcoming projects as you speak with local and national experts who will help you with all of your home improvement needs. And be sure to attend the free expert seminars. Grab a seat for the free live cooking shows, see many live product demonstrations, register for the hourly cash giveaways, and so much more. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the Home and Garden Show this weekend. Open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday at the Arlington Racecourse, just east of Route 53 on Euclid in Arlington Heights, with free admission and free parking. For details, visit homeshowarlington.com. That's homeshowarlington.com.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 8:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Well, we're up to 116 flight cancellations at O'Hare this morning, 11 at Midway. I-80 is bottled up eastbound Humboldt to Larkin, then 355 before Wolf. There's a crash blocking the left lane. Northbound Veterans Memorial, it's slow going from 159th Street all the way up to 290. Delays continue on 53. Speeds are reduced throughout due to the conditions. Kennedy inbound from O'Hare to downtown is 50 minutes, little quicker the Express. The Eisenhower from 390 to the Burns Circle is an hour. Inbound Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 43 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 432. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. Clouds and occasional snow and flurries. Windy, frigid with blowing and drifting snow. 1 to 2 inches, high 19. Clear, bitter cold tonight, low 0. And then sunny, frigid tomorrow, the high 17. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
18 at O'Hare, 22 along the lakefront, 14 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't miss the Ruger event at Shoot Point Blank, now through February 23rd. Save on all Ruger firearms, including the Ruger SR9C 9mm, starting at $279.99. Shop the Ruger event, in-store or online at shootpointblank.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Signature Bank in Rosemont this morning as we launch our 5th annual Signature Bank Business Tour. We'll be broadcasting from other businesses around Chicagoland in the coming weeks. So off to a rousing start. And I don't understand what's happening in Chicago. I'm baffled by this.
What's wrong?
There is someone running against Bobby Rush in the Democrat primary for Congress. And I don't know, under whose sanction this young lady thinks she's doing this, because I thought you had to wait until you were told it was okay by the
panjandrums of the Chicago Democrat Party before you would do something like this. That's an affront to one of our grand civic elders.
Is she being disrespectful?
Former Black Panther Bobby Rush. For more on this remarkable story, we're pleased to be joined by Sarah Gadd, who's a Democrat candidate for representative for Congress in Chicago's 1st Congressional District. Sarah, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So what is going on? Who do you think you are?
I'm just a normal person who has lived through a lot of the hardships that a lot of my constituents have lived through, and they actually approached me and asked me if I would be willing to join this race and unseat him. There's been a huge absence in leadership in our district over the course of several years, and people have really started to take notice. So now they're actually looking to find somebody else to vote for.
And what does Bobby Rush say about your candidacy?
Oh, I met him actually 2 weeks ago, and he said to me, "I'm not Jim Crowley, and you're not AOC." And he's like, "I have a life."
Wow. What was your response?
I was just like, I never said I was AOC. And I was thinking in my head, Jim Crowley actually shows up and votes on House bills and does his job. But I didn't say that to him because I didn't want to disrespect my elders.
Well, what has he done for your?
Restrained.
Can you pinpoint anything that he's done for your district and the people of your district?
I met with a senior state senator a few weeks ago, and he said that Bobby gave them $7 million for a bike trail at one point in the last 27 years. Beyond that, I don't know. He claims.
Bike trail probably
Did the
not.
bike trail ever get built?
Probably not the most. By the way, gave them $7 million. You mean gave them $7 million of our money? But the bike trail doesn't seem to me is the most pressing issue in the 1st Congressional District.
No, I mean he was supposed to build a technology center in Inglewood. He got $1 million for that. It was never built. He was supposed to build a church in Inglewood. Got $1 million grant. It was never built. So now it's just.
Well, where'd the money go?
Nobody knows because we're just garnished though for that. But I don't understand how he keeps getting reelected. Like, if I didn't show up to class or work a third of the time, anybody would get fired or kicked out. But I mean.
Yes, well, you have so much to learn about how Chicago politics works. Apparently,
I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. It's a crash course, I have no doubt. So what's your perspective, though? I mean, what's your value prop as a candidate? What are you offering to distinguish yourself from Rush and to your would-be constituents?
Like I said, I mean, I'm somebody who's really lived through a lot of the hardships plaguing our district. The reason why I chose to go to law school was because of my experience in the criminal justice system. Like, it just shook me to my core to see how our system treats people not only while they're incarcerated, but why it incarcerates them and how it leaves them hanging after they're incarcerated. I live in a district.
Let's take a step back, because you've had some, from your bio that I read, you've had some incredible trials and tribulations, and so frame those for us so we have an understanding of, your candidacy, what the impetus for your candidacy, as well as what kind of representative you'd be.
Yeah, so I was in my 3rd year of medical school. I was in a very bad car accident, and I was badly injured. I became addicted to prescription opioids. And that addiction pretty much destroyed my life and took everything away from me. I went from having a full ride to medical school to being a Cook County jail inmate in less than 2 years. And I was badly abused when I was in that jail. physically assaulted, sexually assaulted, stabbed. And, you know, when you get out and you're like, finally, I'm free, the punishment is just getting started. You can't find a job or a place to live. There was a point where I was homeless in the middle of January in Chicago, and just to experience really how far our system takes you south, and living in an area where this is happening to everybody around you, just I felt compelled to do something about it. I didn't want to keep living my life being treated like a second-class citizen because I made a mistake in my 20s, and I was operating under the throes of an addiction. I came to realize while I was incarcerated that crime a lot of the time is really just acts of survival. And if we had better support and social services for people in very vulnerable parts of the country, places like the south side of Chicago, where, you know, communities are very fractured and very impoverished, and people are really just doing whatever they can to survive.
Right.
Well, how did you?
Yeah, you got a chance in 2015. You got a second chance when you met my attorney, Kathleen Zellner.
Yeah, Ms. Zellner, she sued the Cook County Jail for me, but even more importantly, she gave me a job. It was just supposed to be a temporary gig to help me get back on my feet because I was struggling really hard. And she just gave me a temporary clerkship, but I took that second chance and I ran because I knew it was probably going to be my only real chance to prove myself, and that I could still contribute to society in a meaningful way. So I just, you know, in 2 months I was escorting Mario Cacharo out of prison, and I had worked on his case. In 6 months she promoted me to her firm's forensics director. So I took on a very integral role in her cases, and after a couple of years I had kind of rebuilt my credibility and my resume back up. I had started a nonprofit for the Chicago homeless. I'd been volunteering with the Chicago Community Bond Fund and really taken an active role in criminal justice reform in an area that really needs it. And I packaged that up into a law school application, and here I am in my third year at U Chicago. I now have another nonprofit called Addiction to Action that brings life-saving treatment for substance abuse into jails and prisons. I'm representing youth and young adults from Chicago's South Side in the exact same courtroom I stood handcuffed and shackled in 8 years ago. And it's just...
It is, yeah, that's a remarkable turnaround. And one of the things it sounds like to me is that opportunity that the lawyer presented you was an opportunity to rediscover your agency. And I wonder how much you think about that, and as you work with other people who are similarly situated, helping them rediscover their agency so they can turn things around the way that you did.
I mean, all the time. But the sad reality is that a lot of people don't get these second chances. So I worked with these youth and young adults who I see have incredible potential, but they haven't been able to explore that potential because, you know, they're in a space where room for exploration is very limited, and they make one poor decision in their youth and it causes them to miss a lot of opportunities later on in life. So, you know, I closed my campaign video by saying I envision a first district where everyone has a chance and a second one if they need it. I actually closed my law school application saying I just need a second chance, and if I'm given that, I won't need a third. I have posters all over the district saying a second chance for the first district. That's because I live in an area that is so disproportionately disenfranchised, and it's just feeding into the problem. And a lot of the people who our system demonizes and vilifies as incapable of rehabilitation, they're really just normal people who made a mistake or a poor decision in a time of desperation or hopelessness, or maybe when they were under the influence of mental illness or substance abuse. And they got caught, and society refuses to let them forget it. And so that's why we have an area like the south side of Chicago that's 90% African American, where 2/3 of Black men over the age of 24 have a felony conviction. We have unparalleled rates of poverty, gun violence, the second highest Black unemployment rate in the country. I mean, these are all problems that are inextricably linked that can be traced back to, our criminal justice system or the vicious cycle of poverty and incarceration. So that's
right,
a life
and so it
experience that
and
I've
it
had
seems
that
to me, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but it seems to me that it's time for a paradigm shift, right? You had to shift the paradigm in your life, and it's time for a paradigm shift with respect to congressional representation and with respect to approach to some of these pathologies in the community.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just posted about this yesterday for Black History Month. I posted my racial justice and reconciliation, and I noted in there that our district, the 1st Congressional District, ranks in the top 5% for Black majority districts and in the top 5% for worst districts for Black people to live in. Like, that's a fact. I mean, we rank 17 out of 435 for worst districts for Black people to live in. And just per capita, we have the highest population of Black Americans in our district. And so it's like, this is what 27 years under Bobby Rush's leadership has amounted to. A district that literally ranks the worst in the country for the majority of people that live there.
And he keeps getting rewarded by being reelected.
I mean,
That's the thing.
He has the name recognition. I mean, he plays dirty, like really dirty. He's had his staff like go around the district and rip down my posters and signs. And it got to a point where we had to press charges because they were doing it so much that it had wasted thousands of dollars of ours. And we caught him in the act, like we have it on video. And we finally pressed charges. Then they get the store manager where we caught them doing that to lie and say that she instructed them to take it down because she didn't want to advertise.
Oh, I see what they did there.
But there's still a big Richard Boykin sign in the window. So it's crazy.
Well, where can people find out more information about you and to donate to your campaign?
Well, yeah, they can go to sarahgad2020.com. It's Sarah with an H, GAD2020.com. And you can follow us on Facebook at Sarah R. Gad 2020. That's
I know you've I know you've beaten the odds in so many respects, but what do you think here? Is this a statement race to put sort of a marker down for younger people for a generational handover, or do you really think you can win?
No, I really think I can win. Polling has actually showed that the more people get involved with this race that haven't participated in the past, I mean, it could actually be an easy path to victory. It's just a matter of mobilizing people who haven't moved to the polls in years, mostly because there hasn't been a viable choice, but also the fact that this is going to be a very high turnout Democratic primary. And what I can tell you just from 5-6 months of campaigning is that there are more people who want Bobby Rush out than want him in. So, I mean, it's not going to be a situation where, you know, I just miserably lose to Bobby Rush. I think that we're reaching a juncture where his time is probably come, if not in this election, in the next one. But,
well, you'll know
get your name out there.
You'll know you're gaining on him when they graduate from ripping down signs to having his Black Panther Party friends.
And what he said to you about AOC.
Provide a little bit more of a presence. But
well, that means he's scared, don't you think? He's a little concerned about
No,
her?
I don't think. I do not think that. I think he's trying to put her in her place, and I'm glad that you're not taking it. I'm glad to see at least there's competition at some level in Chicago politics, because it's a rare thing to see. A second chance for the 1st District. I like that. Sarah Gadd, Democratic candidate for Congress in Illinois' 1st Congressional District, Chicago South Side. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with your candidacy.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
And again, the information, Sarah Gadd, with Sarah with an H, GAD2020.com. And she joined us on our turnkey.com answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. Your lifelong dream has always been to buy your own home. So what's your first step? Do you call your local bank, go online and apply at one of the internet companies, or have your realtor refer you to a company they work with? What if I said none of the above? Why? Your local bank might not offer the program that's best for your situation. The online companies, you input your information and hope they get back to you. And you also put all your life history out on the web. Your realtor's lender, their focus is on the sale, not getting you the best rate and program. So what's your best option? Dan Frio. Why? I work for you, not the bank. I shop your loan to over 21 different mortgage lenders that get you the best rate and program that fits your needs. So let's make your dream a reality. Call me today, 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or reach me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
Hey, we're just over a month into 2020, and it seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu. Don't get me started about the coronavirus. And you know how you can stay healthy this year? We all need to boost our immune system, get enough sleep, but you can also do that by eating well, and that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which we have to admit we're not doing on our own. So do what I started doing again, and that's take Balance of Nature. Just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. You hear stories here all the time about how people's lives have changed, and the next story could be yours. So order Balance Nature today. Make 2020 a year of better health for yourself. And right now, Balance of Nature offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago, or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
When you're serious about your concealed carry training and education and are ready to learn from an active police officer with a teaching degree, check out Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian. You'll learn safe, responsible firearm use, home defense planning, conflict avoidance, situational awareness, and how to remain physically, morally, and financially safe in the event you must use your firearm in self-defense or the defense of another. Weekday and weekend classes available. For information, visit Illinois Concealed Carry Training online at icct.us. That's icct.us.
I'm Sergeant Gary Carr, police firearms trainer and the owner of Illinois Concealed Carry Training. We'll arm you with what really counts, knowledge and training. All concealed carry training programs are not created equal. This may be the single most important decision you'll ever make for yourself and your loved ones. 16 and 3-hour renewal classes available weekends and weekdays. For more information or online registration, go to icct.us. That's icct.us. icct.us.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel their timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-642-8855. That's 800-642-8855. 800-642-8855.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, do you know what the the name Buttigieg means from Arabic. It originally comes from Arabic. This from
his dad's from
Malta.
Malta, right.
Associate professor, University of Ottawa, no less an authority than that, who tweets on Middle East and security and intelligence matters.
So what does Buttigieg mean?
It comes from Arabic and means literally father of chicken.
That is great.
And he noted that a number of folks rightly point out my tweet is incomplete.
Why?
Buttigieg comes from Abu Dajjaj, which literally translates as father of chicken, but in practice, in Maltese,
it is what?
It is more accurately translated as owner or keeper of chicken.
Oh, okay.
So, just want to be particular about this. Father of chicken. We'll see how he does in Nevada and South Carolina in the coming weeks.
Coming up on Chicago. Oh, coming up.
Actually, Trump is still looking for a nickname for him. Maybe he goes with Father of Chicken.
You know what? You should tweet that out to Trump. He'll probably call him that. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Brian Patrick Iha, who had just penned a piece for City Journal on the new Puritans at 8:38.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Snow showers and 17 degrees at 8:31. Lakeshore flood advisory is up. Bitter cold crossing the area and heavy snow. President Trump is tweeting again this morning about Roger Stone, a day after Democrats accused him of using the Justice Department to go after his enemies and reward his friends. The president wrote that a member of the jury in the Stone case had a significant bias. Closing arguments in the Harvey Weinstein rape trial begin today. The prosecution will make their closing arguments on Friday. Measure that would limit President Trump's ability to launch military strikes against Iran is moving forward in the Senate. Virginia Democrat Tim Kaine says the resolution isn't really about the president.
It's about Congress. It's about Congress fully inhabiting our Article I role to declare war and taking that deliberation seriously.
A final vote on the resolution expected this week. The CDC is preparing for the coronavirus outbreak in the U.S. to get a little worse. Nancy Messonnier, head of the agency's Center for Respiratory Disease, says it will be the U.S. or another country that will likely see the spread. The coronavirus death toll in China has soared past 1,300. The publisher of the Miami Herald, Kansas City Star, and Fort Worth Star-Telegram, along with dozens of other major newspapers nationwide, has filed for bankruptcy protection. McClatchy & Company says it will continue to run normally as it pursues approval of a restructuring plan under Chapter 11. A man is in critical condition here in Chicago, shot by a liquor store's security guard on Chicago's west side last night. 4 are in critical condition this morning after a Metro train hit a vehicle on the southwest side last night near 87th and Pulaski. A video gambling operator who was denied approval to open a racetrack and casino near Chicago is now suing the Illinois Gaming Board, alleging one of its employees illegally accessed sensitive information about him and his company. Rick Heidner says the gaming board notified him on January 31 that one of its employees improperly accessed his sensitive financial records. Vancouver over the Blackhawks 3-0. Big Ten college hoops, it was Northwestern over Michigan, or Michigan over Northwestern, 79-54. The news service of Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual Insurance customizes your coverage so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher has seen the worst from the left.
Rush Limbaugh announced yesterday he has been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. If you had any doubt about how evil a lot of people are on the left, how vile and vicious and sick they are, you should take a stroll down social media and see some of the hideous things they've said about a 69-year-old man's cancer diagnosis.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
America has a retirement crisis. 10,000 people turn 65 every day with alarmingly little savings. Company pensions are a thing of the past, and 401k plans are riddled with fees and expenses. We're living longer, so our retirement savings need to last longer. And these record low interest rates are virtually punishing savers, forcing many people to take on far too much risk in the stock market. So what can you do to help ensure you don't become another statistic of this crisis? The answers are in a free educational workshop with Tom Fortino, featured expert on Fox Business, Forbes, and the host of the Alpha Wealth Hour heard on AM 560. Learn about the 5 major threats to your retirement, creating lifetime income, and the Social Security decision, plus tax-free strategies to help make the IRS a smaller partner in your retirement, and how to pass along more wealth to the people you love. Seats are available in multiple locations throughout Chicagoland. Visit alphawealthgroup.com and click on the Classes tab to reserve your free seats now. alphawealthgroup.com.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket for it can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Give up on your New Year's resolution already? Time to call NJ Diet. They contractually guarantee that you will shed 20 to 50 plus pounds in only 40 days. Their program uses hair, saliva, and bioenergetic scans to personalize natural formulas and supplements where the side effect is weight loss. Then NJ Diet utilizes DNA testing to determine your ideal diet and workout plan to keep it off. To learn more, tune in to AM 560 The Answer every Sunday afternoon at 1 to the NJ Diet Show, or go to njdiet.com.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
It is 8:36 in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Jim Talamonte.
8094 westbound traffic is a mess. I-65 to Kennedy Avenue has crashed there, blocking the left lane. The delay is still on I-80 eastbound, 355 before Wolf. Several crashes in that area. Kennedy Expressway inbound, it's 53 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 35 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound 47 to the airport where there are flight cancellations. Mount Eisenhower an hour, 390 to downtown. Stevenson an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ride 43 minutes, 95th to downtown. The tollways are heavy with delays pretty much across the board, including eastbound Adams Tollway 47 all the way to Gulf. The Reagan Tollway 56 to the Ike. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Windy, frigid with snow and blowing snow. 1 to 2 inches more could accumulate. High of 19. Turning clear and bitterly cold overnight. A low of 0. 17 right now at O'Hare. 20 along the lakefront. Wind chill at O'Hare is 2 above. Wind chill in Waukegan right now is 2 below 0. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
No, you can't even on your phone.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. In his review of Ross Douthat's new book, Peter Thiel, the billionaire, investor, entrepreneur, Trump supporter, distills 4 aspects of decadence that punctuate Douthat's new book, which I haven't read yet, but I will. And frankly, this Peter Thiel review in First Things stands alone as an interesting commentary. One of the 4 aspects of the decadence of modern culture, repetition. As Thiel explains, repetition names the condition of our culture, endlessly remaking remakes of remakes. Whereas the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s all had distinctive by the decade styles in design, clothing, music, art. From the 90s to now feels like one big remix. We're stuck in a boomer culture loop, which Douthat explains in his book. From J.J. Abrams' remaking George Lucas' Star Wars to Martin Scorsese remaking himself. It's interesting. Yeah, I think that's right. And one of the explanations for this culture loop we're stuck in, as Teal describes, may be found in this piece by our next guest, Brian Patrick Eha, who is the former editor at Entrepreneur, author of How Money Got Free, and contributed to City Journal. His piece in City Journal on the New Puritans may help explain why we're not as culturally distinct and creative as perhaps we've been in previous generations. For more on that, we're pleased to be joined by Brian Patrick Eha now. Brian, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you talk of the New Puritans and the New Moralism, which now, as you write, obscures cultural creation in America. Why don't you develop that argument for us?
Sure. Well, essentially, there has come to be what I call the twin notions of this movement, which are that art and entertainment, cultural products, as well as those who produce them, should be subject to ideological and behavioral purity tests, and that essentially those that are found wanting, the term is problematic, they should be kind of thrown out in favor of more politically helpful or edifying material. And this ends up amounting to a kind of narrowing, a drastic narrowing in some cases, of the possibilities for art and entertainment and what can be considered, laudable and praiseworthy. But it goes, of course, much deeper than that.
Yeah, I mean, so this is sort of a version of the cancel culture argument, and you see it in the interesting thing is you see it in practice a lot in real time. Perhaps most recently, this book, American Dirt, which was initially recommended by Oprah, but then was criticized by identitarians for the author not being a person who came to this country illegally, so how dare she culturally appropriate somebody else's story of coming to this country illegally and pretend that she's some sort of authority on it? And I mean, good grief, she's just writing a novel about it, telling a story, but it was seen as illegitimate in certain quarters. And of course, the author, rather than make the point that I'm making or you would make, she apologized. She said, yeah, they got a point, and I tried to be sensitive, and you need to placate the mob. So that's what's happening in real time. But I just know, and I want to see if you can help us understand, why can I go to the Chicago Lyric Opera and see Wagner's Ring Cycle? I mean, that was, Hitler's favorite composer. Why can I go to the Lyric Opera and see Boris Godunov? Mussorgsky was Stalin's favorite composer. And why aren't we going back and, expunging all the great artists from time immemorial the way that we're trying to do in present time?
Well, don't worry. Listen, there are efforts to make that kind of thing happen. In my essay, yes, comforting, isn't it? In my essay, I talk about the fact that at there was a lecture hall at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, a famous hospital, where in this one lecture hall there were 31 portraits of eminent scientists and physicians, but those were recently removed because of some complaints by a few people that essentially too many of these portraits turned out to be, of white men from back in the day, and that was no longer seen as reflecting the makeup of the student body that was getting lectures in that hall. And so rather than kind of just, accept that history, they decided to remove them. Also, the portraits of psychologist William James and other thinkers were removed from Harvard's psychology department for similar reasons. So, don't worry, that they're coming for Wagner too, I'm sure, if they haven't gotten there already. But I think the reason you're able to still hear Wagner is, not only that he's kind of a perennial favorite and perhaps a cash cow in some sense for the institutions that still organize his music, performances of his music, but it's that we used to be able to, kind of in a liberal society, a small L liberal, we had an understanding of that you didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, essentially, that there were cultural riches from all over the world at different times in history that could be, pleasing or beneficial or invigorating to experience. And it didn't matter always if, the person was not a perfect human being who created those things. you mentioned cancel culture, and I think that is an important overlap with what I'm talking about in the essay, but it really goes deeper than that. The reason I use the term the New Puritans, and I think that's important, is because, well, what do we think of the Puritans today? You know, we remember how rigid and austere they were. We remember their moral censoriousness. And in that term, I first want to convey the moral superiority and censoriousness that are the defining traits of these people. And second, because I think the name suggests an important truth, which is that social justice has become a kind of secular religion, complete with articles of faith and, you know, unquestioned dogma and saints on one side and sinners on the other, and just a whole catechism of beliefs which the adherents are expected to commit to memory and then constantly revise as new gospels are sort of handed down. And, you know, one group kind of falls out of favor or comes into favor and so on. And I think that's a really important thing to understand, that at times social justice language is really just a smokescreen for power politics. It functions that way because, well, if you're an individual or a member of a certain group, however you define that, and you say openly, hey, I want more power for myself, well, that's not a particularly noble goal, and nobody is really going to feel that inclined to grant that to you. But if you say instead, hey, you have to give me this because of equality, or because I'm a marginalized victim, or because I've been oppressed, etc., it becomes harder to argue against that, right? And so in some ways, it's a smokescreen. But yeah, go on.
And one of the consequences, as Teal was remarking in reviewing Dothat's new book, is cultural stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
right.
is that a fair read on that?
No, I think it absolutely is. That the original Puritans, they kind of, they came to the American colonies because they wanted to assert their own independence, their own independent religious judgment, and not have to follow all the precepts of the Catholic Church or the Church of England. Ironically, though, they ended up condemning other groups like themselves, other believers who, cherished the very freedoms on which they had themselves relied. And similarly, these kind of moral censors that we have now, they want to promote, only the art that they find edifying and politically useful, and they want to kind of suppress anything else, even if it might be of greater artistic merit, even if it might be of more lasting value in some sense, or even more progressive in maybe a real materially positive sense. And so that, of course, leads to cultural stagnation.
And then what are your thoughts? I mean, that wasn't part of your article, but this erasing of our history. I mean, think about it. In the last few years, all those Confederate statues that were taken down, and, is this ever going to end, or is this just the new normal? If it offends somebody, then we'll just get rid of it.
Well, I'm of two minds in some ways about the Confederate statues, but I think the erasing of the history is definitely a fairly deplorable trend. I mean, I do say in my essay that modern progressivism elevates the act of driving one's plow over the bones of the dead to the level of a political mandate. It basically says that that's what we need to do all the time. We just can't ever look back to the past. We can't really embrace traditions. We can't even have respect for the moral complexity or gray areas of the past. We really just need to sort everything into black and white and kind of, throw everything into the wood chipper that doesn't serve our current agendas. And that's just to use one of their favorite words, a very toxic way of looking at the world and looking at history. And it's an impoverished way as well.
Yeah, and that Manichaean view of the world, to sort of paraphrase Andrew Sullivan, who wrote last year, we're all on one big college campus now. We all live on one college campus now, talking about the culture, the censorious nature of the culture, the redefinitions and the rewriting of history. It seems to me like we're all in one big political campaign now. We're all political candidates. And what do you do in a political campaign? You are endlessly trying to jackpot the other candidate. Yeah, it's an endless series of looking in the past, trying to manufacture things that aren't there that you wish were there, and that's sort of what it seems to me the left does, the social justice warriors do with people with whom they disagree. It is looking to end them, to defeat them.
Right. Or the other thing is the urge to rehabilitate, as they define it. You've probably noticed all of these movies and books and things that are being remade in new versions with like more racially diverse casts, or with an all-female cast instead of an all-male cast, like Ghostbusters, and so on. And it seems like a way for them to kind of claim the cultural cachet that these movies and books and so on still possess, while at the same time kind of assimilating them to their own ideology.
Yeah, no, that's a good explanation of what's happening. I agree with that. He is Brian Patrick Eha. He's former editor at Entrepreneur. He's the author of How Money Got Free. And check out his piece, which I'll tweet out from at City Journal, city-journal.org, the column The New Puritans. Brian, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
What would you do if you knew there was a place to learn step-by-step strategies designed to help you make the right moves inside the financial markets? A place to develop skills that can help you generate income and build confidence toward your retirement goals. At Online Trading Academy, we know there's an investor in all of us, and we know how to teach people just like you the skills and knowledge that could empower you to take better control of your financial future. Start by taking our free introductory class at a location near you. Learn about the biggest mistakes investors make and how you can learn to avoid them. Plus, you'll learn strategies that could help you make your money work harder for you. For over 20 years, Online Trading Academy has been teaching students skills designed to help them learn to invest with the confidence of the pros.
Call 844-778-7132 for 2 free tickets to a class in your area and receive our Professional Insiders Kit with lessons from our top instructors just for attending. That's 844-778-7132. 844-778-7132 or visit otaclass.com.
Networks of the future are finally here, and Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business. Serverless networks help you save money, increase productivity, and minimize the headaches by not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building. Unleash your business from having a server. Yes, you continue to have all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365, including Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and more. And with Turnkey IT, each user gets a terabyte of storage with all files and folders stored, backed up, and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can your business go serverless? Turnkey IT is offering a free 5-point assessment to determine if your business qualifies in just 2 minutes. Yeah, that's all it takes is 2 minutes. So visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro. Turnkey IT is just like you, a locally owned business that understands the needs of other local businesses. They specialize in working with businesses that employ 5 to 200 employees. So do not wait. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on what's important. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore, and I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, if you own a home or rent an apartment, Team Hochberg would like to give you an opportunity to have them pay your rent or mortgage for an entire year. Yes, you heard me correctly. Team Hochberg is giving listeners an opportunity to have them pay your rent or mortgage payment for 1 year. Team Hochberg has teamed up with the Chicago Blackhawks to offer 2 renters and 2 homeowners the opportunity to shoot the puck during the March 22nd Blackhawks game. Score a goal, and Team Hochberg will either pay your rent or mortgage for an entire year. But you cannot win unless you register at ChicagoBlackhawks/TeamHochberg.com. Again, that's ChicagoBlackhawks/TeamHochberg.com. Registration ends February the 29th. Register and review official rules at ChicagoBlackhawks/TeamHochberg.com. Again, ChicagoBlackhawks/TeamHochberg.com. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 855-563-2343. 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and Term Provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou!
He's like you.
800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta. 800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
Their boots are always dirty because at First Choice Equipment, they work alongside their customers to help find innovative solutions to their equipment needs. First Choice Equipment is a trusted family-owned full-service construction equipment dealer that provides skid steers, excavators, track loaders, and wheel loaders to contractors throughout northern Illinois and southeast Wisconsin. First Choice Equipment sells, rents, and services Kubota, Gale, and Mustang construction equipment. Kubota is proud to be the world's #1 selling compact excavator and was awarded the highest retained value in 2019 by Equipment Watch. At First Choice Equipment, they work alongside construction professionals who put their work boots on every day. Visit their website at firstchoiceequipment.com to view all of the Kubota, Gale, and Mustang products, or call 855-510-6050. That's 855-510-6050. At First Choice Equipment, they're not just building your neighborhood, they're also part of your neighborhood.
Actual patient testimonials results may vary.
The varicose veins and spider veins are hard to look at.
I wanted to hide my legs because they were all blue and spidery.
They feel like you're dragging bricks around.
At Vein Clinics of America, we want you to know you don't have to live with varicose and spider veins anymore.
It actually took my daughter pushing me to come into Vein Clinics of America, and I am so glad I came in.
If varicose and spider veins are forcing you to hide your legs, if you're tired of the pain and discomfort, we can help. For more than 35 years, Vein Clinics of America has been the leading expert in the minimally invasive treatment of vein disease, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
I love Vein Clinics of America. It was absolutely the best I could have ever experienced.
My legs looked beautiful, they felt beautiful, and I felt good inside.
Call now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-769-5700. 800-769-5700. That's 800-769-5700.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy, there's a new dating app. It's called S'more, S''more. And it's 100% different than anything that Pete Buttigieg has ever used.
Well, Pete Buttigieg met his significant other, his lava, on the Hinge app.
Our app is about getting to know someone before deciding if you like them, and even before you see them. You have to interact with a person on the app, and then their photos unblur, and their private and visual content begins to unlock. So you have to make an intellectual connection, a heart-to-heart connection before you get to see the goods.
Yeah, but once you see the goods, are they really the goods? I mean, I had a friend who went out, he saw this picture of a woman, they're going back and forth, finally met at a restaurant, and she was 300 pounds. And she. He was
Okay,
like,
well,
why
there-
would you
there it is.
lie what you look like? Why would you do that to me?
Ultimately, it'll be discovered. The only thing I
Yes.
would say about S'more,
Yeah, what do you want to comment?
if that was a public company, I'd short it.
Oh, okay.
The idea that you don't get to see the picture first?
Yeah.
No, not going to
Okay.
happen.
New approach to an old